Hello. I have arrived for a little bit of a lazy stream today. We will do a lazy stream today, and the subject of today's lazy stream is reacting to things like a lazy person would. And we have a bunch of videos that we have that we haven't actually watched a lot of these. We watched this one. The CEOs are the worst. But there's still quite a few over here. This one we might have watched. These ones are not funny. This one's actually interesting. Shorts, then there's longer ones. We'll see. We've got some reacting to do. And of course, cheeky game. Today we can roll some gacha. Because we have enough resources to do more than like 10 pull thing. So we're gonna do that and then just sort of lazily do nothing. That's basically it. Nothing super important. But we watched that. I'm actually interested in this one. There we go. Let's see.
私はオンラインでポケモンカード買おうと思ってて、偽物買ってしまいました。
偽物なんかあるの？
そう、偽物実はここにあります。と本物もあります。あ、そう。両方買ってしまいました。早川さんの専門家にどれが本物かって聞きたいと思います。大丈夫、俺もポケモンいるから。そうですよ。ちなみにこのポケモンの名前。
Is he like specifically a TCG card printing expert, or is he just a general printing expert? I guess we'll have to find out. This is a pretty funny thing. I don't know like how the situation is in Japan with the fakes. I'm sure that if you sell fake Pokemon cards in Japan, you're gonna get shaped into something a human body is not meant to be shaped into. They are very, very strict on any kind of counterfeits and stuff like that. So it could very well be that they aren't really familiar with the faking of Pokemon cards culture as we are over on this side of the world. But let's see what he can figure out.
わかりません。じゃあ皆さんこんにちは。弊社の仕事の中の一つとして印刷っていう部門がありまして、その印刷の部門では何をやってるのか、皆様たちによくわかるのは今大人気のポケモンカードとかですね、ああいうカード系の印刷なんか、製品も作ってたりします。よく皆様も触れることがあると思いますけど、カジノでよく使われるカードですね。このカード、これ表面がすんごい細かい線が入ってるんですね。でそれによって静電気でカード同士がつかないようになってるんですね。これ本当にまっすぐにできてるんですが、まっすぐに紙をするっていうのは非常に難しくてですね、もう今まだ印刷はされてないですけども、これ5層でできてるんですね。5つの紙を貼り合わせて中に IC チップも入ってるんですね。みんなあっちこっち向いたりするんでまっすぐにするのが難しいんですけども、特殊な技術で紙をまっすぐにしてます。ポケモンカードは多分全部オフセット印刷。
そうですか。ホログラフィックもそうなんですか。
ホログラムはフィルム。もうそういう風になってる七色のフィルム。油、石油とか水に落とすと太陽光の光が当たるとこう七色に光って見えますよね。あれがホログラム。
ここからこの2つのポケモンカードを見せて、
ど
れが本物かって教えてください。
はい。
はい。じゃあよろしくお願いします。ぜひ見てみてください。
いやー、よくできてるね。だけどこれパッと見今もう違うねっていうのが、星みたいなところにこちらが色が入ってるけど、あれ違うな。
難しい。
こちら色が入ってるけどこっち色入ってないんだよね。これスリーブから出しちゃっていい？
いいですよ。
ダメ？
いいですよ。
カードスリーブが入ってないとポケモンカードみたいなカードはすんごい安く作ってるから、
え、そうなんですか？
カードとカードがくっついちゃうの。ここの色が違うよね。こっち濃い、こっち薄い。こっちのキャラクターの方が
はい。
細かいね。
細かいです。
というのか粗いというのか、もうキャラクターが全然違うね、印刷が。
そう。
これで違いが分かるね。
なんか右が線が見える感じですよね。
これが本当の要は鱗を強調してるのか。
あ、まあドラゴンですからね。
カードもこっちの方が厚い、
うん
こっち薄い。全然違うわ。これ本物だ。厚みが違うもんね、カードの。
はい。
カードの反りがでかいよね、これ。浮いてるじゃん。
あ、確かにそうですね。
これそんなに浮いてないもんね。
確かに。
カードってこの反り浮きっていうのをすごいうるさく言われるんだよ。これ拡大されてるの見ると分かるんだよな。カードのこの辺をちょっと拡大するね。
線がすごい見えるんだ。
そうそう。線が
はい。
はっきりしてるのよ。
そうです。すごいはっきりしてる。
でこっちバックの線がないんだよ。
ちょっとあるんですけど、もっと細かく
キラキラさせると
細かいを
触った時にザラザラがない。
はい。
こっちザラザラがある。本当に数ミクロン印刷で線が盛り上がってる。
数ミクロンってどういう意味ですか？
厚み、インクの、まあ4ミクロンぐらい。こっちはそれがもう全部一応線は印刷してるんだけど、形状を保たないで流れちゃってる。
So I guess he's not specifically about Pokemon card printing. He's just like a printing expert in general, which is really interesting that he can like tell that, oh, this is probably fake and this is probably real immediately. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
決定的な違い1、
はい。
カードの厚み。
はい。
決定的な違い2、
はい。
バックの印刷。
はい。
この盛り上がりがあるかないか、
はい。
ザラザラがあるかないか、という2つのところから私はこちらが本物、こちらが偽物と鑑定させていただきます。
はい、ありがとうございました。
で正解は？
よく考えてくれましたね、早川さん。違います。
逆なの。
逆です。
Oh no!
偽物の方が本物っぽいじゃん。やっぱりキャラクターのこのドットの粗さが偽物なんだ。
そうです。
Never mind. He had no idea.
だってこれめちゃくちゃさ、粗悪な紙だよこれ。
やめて、これ3万円くらいです。
ちょっとあれだね、あまりにもちょっと安ちすぎるねこれは。ちょっと同じ印刷に携わるものとしてこれは商品として出したくない。
But that's how they make their money, though.
ってた方が俺的には価値観があ
He
る。
likes the Chinese.
キラキラってさ、偽物の方がキラキラしてる。本当にホログラム使ってるって言われたよね。
そう、本物の方がボーダー暗い方。
マットニス入れてるんでちょっと曇らせてる。でこっちは曇らせてるのがないんで、そのままクリアニス、ピカピカ光るニス。でもこっちに絶対クオリティ高いよね。中国のカードの方がめちゃくちゃいいね。
こんだけポケモンの趣味が厳しくなってきたということですよ。
これさ、ちょっとさ、丸山呼んで。
Oh, we're not done yet. Maruyama is coming. God damn. Who is Maruyama?
丸山。
2枚ポケモンカードがあるんだけど、お前的にはこれどっちが本物だと思う？なんだお前気合い入れてもポケモンだぜ。
かわいい。ワンポイントじゃないですか。
どっちがいいと思う？
こうやってもうはっきりやっちゃいます。
お願いします。ここは印刷屋さんですから力を見せてください。
単純に見ると普通に印刷のインクのこのダマの大きさがこっちの方がドットがこっちの方が大きいんで、こっちの方が、ね、センスというか、あります。あ、
何
気がついた？
HP のところがこれクリアで印刷される
どこが？
この370のところ。
お、素晴らしい素晴らしい。
これ早川さん気づいてないでしょ。さすが。
これこれ
あ、本当だ。
こっちの方がすごいでしょ。
あ、本当だ、盛られてるんだ。どっちだ
な。これだってここ全部こう見てみ、これ。
いや、ちょっと待って、早川さんちょっとだけに聞かせてもらいましょう。なんかさ、
気になったのが、ここ、まあ海流の目もそうなんですけど、クリアで、ね、保護してるんですよ。ただその保護してる位置がずれてるんですよ。これの方がずれはないんですよね。オーバーコートとこのクリアのあれは
クリアがベタなんだよね。
あ、地下なの。本物？
よく作られてる。やっぱ中国製なんだよ。
違う。
でもお前すごいとこ。
クリア、そうよくわかりました。
もう俺老眼だからさ。
裏もちょっと違うんだよ。
2人ともでも気づいてないところは角のものですよね。ここ例えばちょっとなんかこういうなんかちょっと切り線がはっきりしてない。ちょっと
これ歯止めがついてる。歯止めのまんまなんだこれ。
本当だ。
でこっちは歯止めがねえんだ。だから抜き落とし。これズドンってもう全部抜いちゃってる。カードを作る時って40何個これ同じのくっつけて印刷して、でそれを抜きに回す時に板のまんま抜いて横にそのまま引っ張っていくんで、そうするとどっか止めとかないとそこでカードがバラバラになっちゃう。これないやつはそのまま抜いた時に下にそのまま落としてる。だから歯止めがない。だから歯を止める抜き方で、これは歯を止めてない抜き落としの抜き方。
カズさんこっちを買っちゃったんですか？
そうです。
だけどさ、こっちの方が紙は厚いし、印刷のさ技術的にはこっちの方が上じゃん。
でもなんで本物に寄せないんでしょうね。この縁とかもそうですけど。
いや、俺らの方が技術は本当は正義。でもやっぱそこが中国に抜けてるところなんじゃないまた国際問題に発展するんですけど、もともと好きな人はまあそういうところの違いっていうのは分かるんだろうけど、印刷をやってる立場の人間から見たら中国の方がクオリティ的には高い。
ありがとうございます。
で材料もいい材料を使って。
It's crazy that the fake qualities has gone to the point where they do like the texture and stuff like that on the cards as well. I guess the industry is so big that the scanning of these cards is like a large enough industry where it's worth it. Like they will pay for those bigger printers and stuff like that just so that they can scan people better, which is crazy. It's like, when will it come to the point where the fake ones are so high quality that they are indistinguishable from the original ones, and then the entire market will just go to fucking oblivion because they're gonna just print everything.
本物の方が数取っちゃった。
だって反りもないし、
すごいですね。
こっち反り反りじゃん。これ NG だぜ。だってこれ日本のクオリティだったら。
ちなみに丸山さん、これ本物は3万円くらい。
俺さっきさ、こんなのってやったら怒られし。
プレミアがついてる。
そうですよね。
そんなのベタベタ触っちゃダメなんです。
なんかカードがさ、センタリングとかどんだけ綺麗に。
これさ、カードは薄いんだけどスリーは厚いんだよ。
ポケモンカードのディスになってる。じゃあ早川さん、今日いろいろ意見いただいてありがとう ございました。
何のお役にも立てなくて申し訳ございませんでした。
多分皆さんは印刷についていろいろ勉強になりましたので。
そう。
That was actually pretty informative. Also, pretty funny that from a print house perspective. Yeah, from a print house perspective, the fake one is better.
いろんなところで購入される際に、間違ったもの買わないよう十分気をつけてください。どうも今日はありがとうございました。
これあげます。好きなポケモンジラチって言ってましたでしょ。
マジっすか。
うん。
ありがとうございます。懐かしい思い出が。
好きなポケモンってありますか？
今ね、代表的なピカチュウ。うん。はい。
その名前くらい。
それぐらいしか知らない。
Very cool. Everyone else is just laughing about it. Very good. That was a great video. I very much enjoyed that. That was a super interesting little topic. Very cool. Very cool. This is a short. I'm assuming it's not that.
This is Ham the chimpanzee. He's been strapped into a Mercury spacecraft on top of a Redstone missile and is about to become the world's first spaceship. Ground control watches nervously as the rocket is fueled up. Very nervously, because a few months ago they tested this exact rocket out, which did not go as expected.
Oh, well, something went wrong.
So, what just happened? Well, the rocket hit a whopping 4 inches of altitude, the launch escape system fired itself into the ether, and the parachute deployed. But why?
Oh, nice.
At the bottom of the Redstone missile, connected to the tail fin, are 2 cables. A control cable and a power cable. The control cable is supposed to separate first, but it didn't. The power cable separated just 29 milliseconds before the control cable, enough time for a current to flow through a relay and trigger the engine to shut down. So, the engine shuts down right here. Then, the launch escape system, seeing that the engine has just totally 100% completed a full burn, assumes the rocket must be in space. So it jettisons itself here, leaving the capsule behind. And the capsule, detecting that it is both in the atmosphere and under 1g of acceleration, deploys the parachutes here. Truly, one of the launches of all time.
Impressive.
But it wasn't over yet. The fully fueled and powered up Redstone missile was now just sitting there with nothing securing it to the launch pad. And making matters worse, the parachutes were hanging down the side of the rocket, threatening to tip it over if they caught enough wind. Obviously, the flight team was freaking the fuck out, because if the rocket tipped over, it would destroy the entire launch complex. One guy suggested reconnecting the umbilical so they could control the rocket. But no, getting near the rocket was far too dangerous. Another guy suggested getting a cherry picker and cutting the parachute cords so they couldn't catch any wind. No, that's dumb, and the same issue as before. And another guy suggested to shoot it with a gun.
Ah.
What? To depressurize the tanks? No! Eventually, they decided to just wait for the liquid oxygen to boil off over the night, and when they came back to work the next day, the rocket hadn't toppled over and destroyed everything. Hooray! Which brings us back to Ham the chimpanzee. Out of the 6 space chimps available, NASA picked Ham because he was, quote, full of energy and good humor. In the weeks leading up to the mission, he had been in extensive space chimp training, learning to pull this red lever. So they strapped him in, the countdown began, and the rocket launched. This time without any issues. Mostly. On the ascent, Ham hit a whopping 17 Gs of acceleration. But everything worked, and the capsule safely splashed down in the ocean. Once they found it and brought it back on board their boat, they pulled Ham out, who, despite the violent acceleration, was apparently all good and readily accepted an apple. What a guy. This is Ham the chimpanzee. He's been strapped into a Mercury space.
Man was paid an apple for that shit. That's crazy. I don't know if this is really something that I give a shit about. Let's see, is this some long thing? I haven't played Dave the Diver, so I don't know. I'm guessing this is full of some kind of references. Why are we stuck? There we go. Do I need to Yeah, I definitely need to. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, this sounds pretty cool. We're probably not gonna watch all of these in a row. This seems interesting. This seems very interesting. Let's see this one first. I hope it's not like super long. Oh no, it's 7 minutes. This is perfect.
About a year ago, I was digging through some trash cans at school when I came across this amazing book from 1933. It's called The Chemical Formulary, and it's filled with
He looks like the kind of guy who would become a supervillain someday. He has that like brow of a supervillain. He would be the guy who would kill Superman, I feel. He definitely has that energy. Like, look at this darkness that his brow creates over his eyes. He definitely has the power to kill Superman. He just hasn't released it to the world yet.
with all these different recipes, from things like plastics to adhesives to explosives and pharmaceuticals. It's an amazing book. It has all these really brilliant ideas, but there are also a few just completely crazy ones, and those are the ones I'm going to try today. Now, I feel like I'm stating the obvious here, but please don't try any of these things at home. Like, some of these recipes in here could either blow your hands off, give you cancer, or even kill you in one breathful for the ones that make cyanide gas. So yeah, just leave that to me, please. And without further ado, let's get started.
See what I mean? He's a mad scientist. He's ready to do this shit. He's ready to take the responsibility to the face, I guess.
Hate it when your coins are all dirty? Well, using this book, you can actually clean them yourself. All you need is a gallon of water and enough cyanide to kill 2,000 people.
Oh,
Now, unfortunately, I only
okay.
have a few grams of cyanide, so I can only make enough to clean, a few handfuls of coins.
Wait, I just saw a comment. Was it over on YouTube? It jumped in the chat, but the widget is not updating. Let me get just a second. I'll get my YouTube chat here as well. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll add Yersu. I'll add you right here so that I can keep up with your video, your comments. For some reason, it's not for some reason it's not showing me your comments over on the shared chat. It's also showing YouTube at 0 viewers for some reason. I don't really know. It's a little bit finicky. The Twitch chat always shows up there very well, but YouTube doesn't. Gotta respect Zoltan for always shooting his shot, even though maybe I almost never watches the funny video. He sends like videos that are made for insiders. He sends videos that are like, if you belong in this fandom, you're gonna fucking love this. But I don't belong in the fandom. Like, you know. Arcade should be, it's showing 0 viewers on my end for YouTube, but we'll just assume that YouTube is having a bad day today. We don't worry about that. I can see your chat now because I have it over on my I put the separate widget here, since we're not like gaming or anything except for cheek game. We're good. But let's see.
As opposed to like a truckload. Why do I even own cyanide? Man, why do I even do this crap? There's enough cyanide inside this little vial to kill me like 50 times over. So just the fact that I'm handling this stuff should definitely earn your subscription. Paint it on there. Oh, look at that. The tarnish is coming right off. The cyanide's probably reacting with the copper and the copper oxide and reducing it to make a copper cyanide complex. What smells like almonds? Man, I don't like touching that. Wow, look how shiny that penny became.
Totally
Now
worth
that's a
it.
coin worth risking your life over.
Uh-huh.
This recipe claims that it can make fabric fireproof. Now, fireproof, we'll see about that. I mixed up a batch of this fireproofing stuff using some roach killer and lye, and although it sounds pretty scary, it's identical to what's used in the book. The cloth on the left is the one that was dipped in that fireproofing solution.
Oh shit, yeah, so that is a great question. I don't actually know if the Tulpa guy is still active. If you remember the YouTuber's name, it was like Shadow Strider or something like that was his name. If you can find him, we will absolutely watch some Tulpa videos. He had some great Tulpa videos. Yeah.
Huh, impressive. Look
Oh!
at that.
No.
Oh, there it
No,
goes.
Yeah. No, it's not fireproof at all.
Yeah, I'm going to give that one a C, because it definitely was harder to light, but once it lit, it wasn't stopping. Now, I won't be demonstrating this one for you today, but I just can't help but wonder the circumstances for when this recipe actually got used.
Ugh.
Alright, this one's pretty interesting. Solidified alcohol. And the chemistry just looks like making soap in alcohol solution. Now, why you would need solidified alcohol, I'm not sure, but it sounds like fun. Now, heating flammable liquids to nearly their boiling point is never really a great idea, but I did it and survived and made some of this cool solid alcohol. So does it ignite? Let's find out. Ah, cool. I feel like this would make a great camping fuel. Now I know what you're thinking. Does it still burn when it's flying through the air? Well, one way to find out, I guess. Yep, definitely still burns. Man, this stuff is so much fun. I wish I would have known about this as a kid. Actually, no, that would have probably been a terrible idea. Have a family member or pet die recently? Well, funerals can be
What?
expensive. But lucky for you, there is a nice recipe in here for some corpse tissue filler.
What? This is like an alchemy book. This sounds like an alchemy book at this point. This is not a good book that we're no.
Here's one from the photography section called flashlight powder. Now when I think of a flashlight, I think of, a continuous beam of light. But judging from the chemicals used in this definitely looks like something that will flash blind you for like 15 minutes.
Oh shit. Oh, okay. Let's see. Was it Phantom's Strider? Oh, I have it in my history. Oh, here he is. Okay. Yeah, he's still talking about SpongeBob. Great. Very good. Okay, we're gonna absolutely watch some of his videos. It's been a while since I've had a good flash blinding, so I stuck some of that flashlight powder on top of that tomato here. Okay. I mean, it's like a flashbang. Whoa! That was so bright. I'm gonna be seeing spots for hours. Okay, this one's one of my favorites. It's an asthma remedy that involves mixing a bunch of herbs, Works every
some of them
time.
toxic, and mixing it with the main ingredient in gunpowder, and then putting it into a pipe and smoking it. How is that supposed to make your lungs feel better? Here's one that sounds about as dangerous as it is fun. Did it break because you didn't have the double dots at the end of it? You only had them in the front of it. So it's a reusable match. So it's supposedly a match that you can strike on a surface and light, blow it out, and then relight it again sometime in the future. Like, that sounds amazing, but I'll have to see it to believe it. The pyroxylin that this recipe called for is pretty much impossible to turn into a powder, so I had to dissolve it in acetone before mixing it with the other chemicals. But then I was able to mold it into some match heads and stick it on the end of pencils. Alright, let's see if this thing works. Rubbing the match heads on concrete didn't light them, so I had to put them on a grinding wheel. Oh, there it goes! Oh, that didn't go out. Ah. So just like I thought, this one was too good to be true. In the end, they just turned out to be really crappy matches. Here's a cold remedy that involves inhaling a mixture of chloroform, formaldehyde, ether, and alcohol, and plus a few herbs. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, the chloroform and formaldehyde are definite carcinogens, and then the chloroform and ether, that's like a Civil War era anesthetic. This will literally render you unconscious. So I decided to put a little bit of chloroform, ether, and isopropyl alcohol in this bottle, just to give this a test. So let's see. Oh my gosh, ugh, smells like cancer. Alright, here's one I know won't work well. So it's a recipe for black powder, and it's a mixture of potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal. And now the ingredients aren't the issue, but they make it seem like you can make good gunpowder by just mixing these ingredients together. It doesn't work that way. Making good black powder is really an art form. You can't just simply mix the components together. It needs to be milled together with something like a ball mill, and then granulated with a solvent. And to top it off, the speed of the black powder is highly dependent on the kind of charcoal that you use. On the left is 50 grams of black powder made by the book, and then on the right is 30 grams of my own homemade stuff. Now I'm going to put them both through the golf ball cannon to see how they act. Man, I have a lot of redneck artillery. First I loaded the cannon with the stuff based on the book's recipe. And it's not that impressive. Then I loaded it with some of the powder that I made based on Polonia charcoal.
God damn.
And as you can tell, it's much, much better than the book's recipe. Poison ivy sucks, but according to this book, relief from itching is just a few lethal doses of lead away. Here's one called Oriental Barometer, and I guess it's supposed to change colors depending on whether it's humid or not. Sounds interesting. I painted some cobalt chloride solution on this fake flower, and although the effect is subtle, it definitely changes color in high humidity. Now I know I've been fairly hard on this book, but in reality this book would have been very useful to somebody who knew a little bit of chemistry in the 30s, because it's not like they had the internet to go look things up. There are a ton of good recipes in here for lots of different things that you could encounter in your daily life. So it really was a good book.
Oh,
for
there
the
is a
time.
part 2. Okay, great. That was actually a pretty interesting video. But there was this one. Let's watch this one. Then we can watch the Tulpa guy's video. Then we can watch part 2. Then we can check maybe the ape.
Wait, no. Hello again. Welcome to America. A few weeks ago, 4 of my friends and I took a trip to this strange land. 5 days in Los Angeles, 4 days in San Diego at TwitchCon, and 3 days in fabulous Las Vegas. This video documents our experiences, the antics, the pure shenanigans, and our trials and tribulations across our 12-day trip. From Machete Man to Scientologists, terrible foam pits, bodily fluids, Mexican nightclubs, and semi-automatic machine guns. It was truly a trip to behold. So, let us begin. First off, why America? Simple answer, I want to go to TwitchCon. But TwitchCon would only be for 4 days, and getting an expensive flight all the way to America for a short convention...
They already set aside my kanna, so I can go get it next Friday. I've got a like a visiting time there next Friday, so I'm gonna go see the new place that they've got, and I'll bring them a few books to sell, and I'm gonna get myself the kanna. So, yeah.
Well, that's just wasteful. Joining me on this expedition were 4 friends. Ben, Tristan, Sydney, and Kai. They would be accompanying me as my entourage, violently flinging away anyone who came near us at TwitchCon. The stage was set, the bookings were made, and all we had to do was get to America. This time, I made the wise decision of not staying there, so I had to get some flights. 5 hours to Fiji, a 3-hour layover
Do
where I
it
drank
yourself.
real Fiji water, and another 9 hours to Los Angeles. All things considered, it really wasn't that bad, especially because I had brought with me
Somehow I have
this
a
secret
feeling
weapon.
that they're not gonna that's not really the most popular character out there in the universe, so I have a feeling that that's not gonna sell out immediately, So
My brand new YouTubes. That's right, fuckos. You've wanted, you've waited, and now the chance is here. The Mark YouTubes. He's sick and tired of living in your walls, and now he has a gun. He's living under your skin. Take it off. Take off your skin. What will he do next? Why is he behind me? What is he doing with the gun? Why is he watching over me ominously as I sleep? No, I can't take it. I've had enough. Take this, you froggy fuck. Purchase it now with the link in the description or pinned comment. Do it now. Gentlemen, do not, under any circumstances, allow this product to enter your walls. I did once. Big mistake. Put him up on a shelf, put him up on your desk, put him up your... No, don't do that. Just keep an eye on him. He's watching. If confiscated by an enemy of the state, deny all knowledge of... What the fuck? I promise, there are no listening devices inside this frog. What are you waiting for, fuckos? Click that link right there and buy it now. It is only available for a limited time. All things considered, it really wasn't that bad, especially because I had brought with me a secret weapon. Benzodiazepines. Oh look, it's LA. I picked up our amazing, incredible, powerful rental car, the Chevrolet Equinox, and drove back to LAX to get Sydney.
I've seen Peter Griffin twice.
Sid and I wouldn't be joined by the others for a few more hours, which gave us some time to check into the hotel, set up the camera equipment, and go for a couple of walks around Santa Monica. To set up the camera equipment, all I had to do was plug in both microphones, yet somehow, I fucked it up. The lav mic sounded like this, and the shotgun mic, like this.
Very good. I see no problem.
Crunchy. Once the camera was set up, we left it behind in the hotel and went for a walk. Our thinking was, we don't need to bring the camera, how much shit can you possibly see on a 1 hour walk? Well, it turns out, you can see a lot of shit. The hotel I had chosen was right across from the Santa Monica Pier. You know, like GTA. So of course, that was our first destination.
How he playing GTA 6.
The people around us were also, for lack of a better term, rather GTA-like. One guy might walk past talking about last quarter's financial reports and how the business needs X and Y for continued year-over-year growth, while another is standing completely still, PCP'd out of his mind, deeply engrossed in the hallucinated worms wriggling around in the pavement. This contrast took a bit of getting used to.
Average
Houses all
American
around us
experience.
were millions and millions of dollars, and sleeping in the sand right across from them, dozens of homeless people. We made our way to the end of the pier, saw the pretty spectacular sunset, and began walking back when things got stranger. On the bridge that links the pier to Colorado Avenue and Route 66, we saw some guy grab onto the guardrail with both of his hands and make a kind of jumping motion, like he was psyching himself out to jump off the bridge. Further down the road, I turned to look down an alley as we passed, and I saw this freaky-looking homeless woman staring back at me, sitting on a mattress in a parking lot. And finally, the crown jewel of our first walk in the United States. A homeless man ran up right in front of us, turned slightly into a corner, dropped down his pants, and shat all over the wall.
Oh,
There it is.
God bless America.
Sydney and I
Fuck.
didn't say a word. We simply stared at each other in stunned silence.
How are you feeling about seeing a homeless woman shitting, Mr. Sydney?
It was a fucking experience and a half, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree.
Back at the hotel, we were like, huh, that was fucking weird. Let's do it again. Walk number 2. This walk was longer, and would you believe it, even weirder than walk number 1. The very first thing I saw was pretty clearly 2 people just straight up having sex, down the street. You know, just... Next, we made our way onto the beach and walked along the famous concrete walkway between the sand and the street. This path seemed to attract a particular pungent odor. The one you get from smoking a little bit of that zah-zah, if you know what I mean. Weed. Another thing you couldn't go 30 steps without seeing were homeless people. Lots. And lots of homeless people. Since it was nighttime, they'd all gone to bed. But, you know, they're homeless. So going to bed really just means curling up on the beach and going to sleep. We walked a bit further and came across Mr. Skeleton Man, just a whole pack of dog food that had been spilled over the ground, and finally, this guy. Now, he wasn't on the path, but a few meters off of it in the sand. This was definitely a good thing, because he was waving what looked like a stick around his head. However, as we got closer, I noticed something strange. You see, this is not a stick. It's a machete. You know when there's a guy in your GTA lobby spawning in random NPCs with weapons to go attack people? Yeah, that was this guy right here. Us, having seen all this crazy shit in the span of 2 hours, didn't think to call the police since, I don't know, what if it's just normal? What if Machete Guy is just there, you know? What if he's...
I mean, it could be.
After our encounter with Machete Man, we were like, maybe it's not such a good idea to walk around at night here. So what do we do first thing when the rest of the boys arrived? Another walk. I am, however, getting ahead of myself, because first we had to go pick them up from the airport. First Ben, then Kai and Tristan.
Tristan! Good to see you, Kai. How we doing? How we doing? The boys!
In the car, we told them about all the fucked shit we had seen in literally just 2 hours of walking.
I see a homeless guy like sprint into a corner ahead of us. I turned left to like look at what he's doing because I thought maybe he was doing drugs or getting ready to fucking kill us. And he's just got his ass, he's pulled his pants down and he's fucking projectile shitting onto the wall. It was a white wall. It was a white wall, and this bloke was fucking turning it chocolate coloured.
We were quite hungry at this point, so we went ahead and got some good old-fashioned McDonald's, beginning the ultimate American fast food / chain restaurant tier list. Now, to be frank, American McDonald's gets shat on by Australian McDonald's. It might just be LA McDonald's, but the food was dry, the sauces were not that good, and it was just, ugh. So we collectively decided on it being D tier. Back at the hotel, we went for our third walk. We checked out Santa Monica Pier again, had a good look at the wall shit, saw many more homeless, and met another character of Santa Monica. This guy. Let's just call him, Rectum Plunderer. He was clearly on something and insisted he'd been fucked. Detecting our strange accents, he asked where we were from.
It's probably the
Are you British motherfuckers?
Yeah.
He was pretty sure someone had drugged him, and as far as we could tell, he was either really, really drunk, which I kinda doubt, or he had in fact been drugged. We walked around with him for about 20 more minutes, allowing him some time to sober up, and allowing us time to just talk complete and utter shit.
See, Earl is your fucking uncle? You're fucking lying, brother.
You know how he passed away?
Yes, you got some of my finger right
That's what the media told me.
Do you think you got assassinated by Illuminati?
I don't think that's over there. We kind of got some other thing going on. Have you ever heard of the Greens Party?
During our walk, we saw several more interesting characters of Santa Monica. Push-up guy, yelling guy in the middle of the street, walking around weird guy, standing perfectly still guy, and of course, our guy, who kept swinging between
Like,
saying funny shit.
I don't really like. How can you blame USA people for wanting to drive cars instead of walking when, like, this is the outdoors experience, and this was the outdoors experience when we were in the when I was in the States too, where we were playing Pokemon Go with arcade, and we were in a car, and like right in like his neighborhood, like in like this like sort of enclosed community whatever thing. It was like late night. We were in the car playing Pokemon Go, and there's this fucking crazy woman was just pressing her face against one of the windows and just staring inside completely wide-eyed. It was fucking crazy. I jolted so hard. It was like, it's fucking, it's true, like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is their reality.
You fucking tonight?
And really concerning shit.
I know who did it. I'm gonna kill him tomorrow.
Don't do that.
I got a Glock in my Rari. Yeah, no, I really do have a Glock. I'm gonna come tomorrow. I'm gonna shoot him up tomorrow.
Don't do that.
Once our walk was up, we parted ways. Of course, not before getting him to yell "Hoodles" at the top of his lungs.
Hoodles, you fucking you American.
And that was the end of the night. Sleepy time. Day 2, still in LA. At this point, it really hadn't hit us that we were in another country, so for breakfast we decided to go to a classic American diner. It was a mere 15-minute walk away. How bad could that be? To be
There's
totally
no like
honest,
guardrail
today
or
was pretty
anything.
boring. No wall shitters, no machete man, and no rectum plunderer. We got some SIM cards, went to a thrift store, found some funny shirts, and got some Chick-fil-A for lunch.
It's Spoderman.
To be honest, Chick-fil-A was mid. It was plain, it was dry, but it was better than McDonald's, thus landing it in C tier. Later in the day, we made a visit to Gold's Gym Venice, the gym where this guy trained for Mr. Olympia. After paying the very fucking steep $50 entry fee, we went inside and got a little workout in. This place was absolutely huge and full of big people. I've never seen a professional bodybuilder in my life, but I'm pretty sure we saw at least 4 or 5 in this one single gym.
Fucking easy.
Near the entrance were these golden dumbbells, each of them weighing in at over 150 kilos or 350 pounds. Naturally, we wanted to get a photo with them, and asked the biggest guy we could find to take it with the fruity pink Polaroid. The guy that took the photo happened to be IFBB pro Will Harris, better known as Big Will. He was super nice and told us he had a photo of himself on the wall. And what do you know? There he is, on the wall. Naturally, we got a photo with him as well. Then we had dinner, and that was the end of the day. Sleepy time. Day 3. Time to go to San Diego. This drive would only be 2.5 hours. However, we're in America. The roads here are dangerous, they're difficult to navigate, and everyone on them is going 15 to 20 miles an hour over the
I've seen like dash cam videos of the States, and it is fucking nightmarish how crazy the roads are.
speed limit. Luckily on our side, we had a secret weapon. Chipotle. Chipotle was the first bit of fast food we ate that didn't make us feel putrid. A big old burrito with good meat, a good wrap, good cheese, good sauce, good beans, and lettuce. We'll come back to the lettuce later. Chipotle was good enough, in fact, to land it in S tier. And with that,
Okay.
San Diego. Our hotel was very nice. A big building right in the heart of the city, only a short walk away from the convention center. Unlucky for us, it had no pool. Now that's not really a big deal, but when we asked the concierge if there was a pool, instead of just saying no, she said, well, we don't have one because it's actually a 112-year-old classic luxury establishment. Okay. Up in our room, the nightmare began.
Isn't the
Shit
pool a
rotation.
luxury thing?
1 toilet, 5 dudes. Sydney was last, and remember that lettuce from Chipotle? Well, the lettuce in America proved too much for the Lebanese gastric system and passed straight through, completely unscathed. After shitting our guts out, it was time to go to the convention center and collect our lanyards. Nothing particularly noteworthy happened, but we noticed a not-so-subtle shift in the people around us. The crackheads and homeless had been replaced with nerds and e-girls. On our way back to the hotel, we bought ourselves a good amount of alcohol and began the hype up for tonight's activities. I had the Twitch partner party, and the boys had a Wu-Tang concert. The partner party was really cool. Free drinks, a whole bunch of streamers and YouTubers that I actually recognized, and my first real taste of this whole content creator industry thing. I downed a few beers, which gave me the confidence to do incredible things like approach people and ask them for a photo, and maybe even have a conversation. It felt pretty bizarre to be around these people. Every now and then I'd go, wait a minute, I recognize that face, and bam, it's Philza. What was even more bizarre is some of them actually knew who I was. Now, most of the people that recognized me didn't recognize my face, but the name on my lanyard, which told me one thing. The frog has a lot of clout.
Yeah.
But I don't. Which
Yeah,
means
I had no idea what he looks like. I just, the frog, though. He should have had, like, a little mask on that makes him get the LSD frog sort of visage. And I feel like that would have definitely powered him up considerably.
Meanwhile, the boys were off at the concert having the absolute time of their lives. There was Wu-Tang, Nas, Busta Rhymes. We met back up at the lobby of some hotel where we saw a real-life furry, which was a first for all of us, and then continued the night at one of San Diego's numerous nightclubs.
Oh yeah, in Australia it's so hot that all the furries die from the heat. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they can't exist in Australia. And the poisonous scorpions go into the fursuits, and the poisonous jellyfish go into the fursuits, and all the poisonous things go into the fursuits. So it's probably pretty dangerous to be a furry in Australia.
It was good. At 2 a.m, the club closed and ejected everyone onto the street. Us, being incredibly fucked at this point, was still having the time of our lives.
We're talking grouse content.
Wakey, sleepy
It's
head,
fucking grouse.
Wakey, grouse content.
My balls was hot. My balls was hot.
We met this guy called Jesus.
Seems like
We screamed Many Men by 50 Cent as loud as we could.
Many men.
Praise be to God! Praise be to God! USA! USA!
And made it all the way back to our hotel. Back in our room, we kept the energy up by getting a noise complaint. Alright, calm down. It's sleepy time. Actually, no, it's not sleepy time. Sydney was still off his face and kept everyone up by laughing non-stop at this. Day 4. We woke up. A terrible mistake. The boys were dusty, the tap water was crunchy, and we were beginning to feel a little putrid.
Yeah,
Not a
I
great
don't.
start to the day, sure, but
No,
it was worth
you
it
don't
because
drink tap water in the States. That's a bad idea. You don't. So, okay, let me give you guys some numbers, because I have recently purchased a tap water pregnancy test to see how loaded tap water is with microscopic materials such as minerals and stuff like that, because my carnivorous plants are very, very sensitive and they get offended if there's even a little bit of like anything in the water. So there is apparently, so it's measured in this unit called ppm, which is particles per, I think, milliliter or something like that. Either way, particles per like some really small amount. And the carnivorous plants want a ppm of below 50. So 50 is the upper limit, and preferably like as low as possible is the better. As for Finnish tap water, the ppm is 75, which is to say it's a little bit over the carnivorous plant threshold of comfort. However, it's not like super terrible. It's apparently like very, very clean, soft water, quote unquote, where it doesn't have a lot of like particles and stuff like that, limestone and stuff like that in it. But in the States, you can apparently get like 450 ppm water out of the faucet. 450! That's like 10 times more than what the carnivorous plants would like. And that's like way too many times more than the Finnish tap water is to make it like safe to drink. So yeah, American tap water can be like really bad for you. So don't drink tap water in the States unless it's like some really specific area where the water is known for being like really clean and there's no limestone in the soil.
Last night was very good, or as we say in Australia, grouse. Today was the first official day of TwitchCon. Our plan was to get a bit inebriated before.
Parts per million. Okay, that sounds more like like it would make sense. Well, kind of. A million what? What does that mean? Let's see this. Air quality. No, that's not it. I guess I don't know. I don't know what the million means specifically. That's 450 milligrams per liter. Okay. That makes that makes a little bit more sense to me. Very good. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Now we know.
But we were so.
But don't drink American tap water. It's not good for you. Finnish tap water, fantastic. It gets more ppm the higher in Finland you go, like the further north you go, because there's more limestone in like the middle areas of Finland apparently. I don't know about Lapland and stuff, but in the capital region it's like super clean.
Putrid, we could not bear the thought of drinking any more alcohol. TwitchCon probably would have been better if we weren't feeling so shit every single day, but hey, each night was great, so I'm not going to complain. Generally, the convention floor was not the most exciting. Sydney and Ben had to go at each other with the inflatable bat thingies in this foam pit. We had a quick look at Twitch rivals, which was not interesting. We took some photos in front of the anime Lamborghini and in front of the Raid Shadow Legends booth, and visited the board game room.
The air is putrid.
I, being a Twitch partner, was lucky enough to go to the park
Welcome to a
where I hung
convention.
out and met some more cool people.
Yeah.
The boys, however, were not Twitch partners, so while I spent the day there, they roamed the convention floor, taking photos with people and just generally meandering. 5 PM rolled around, and day one of the convention ended, which meant party time. Tonight we'd managed to get tickets to this rooftop bar party. Well, 4 of us had gotten tickets. Tristan, of course, forgot to get his, but through some finagling and me seeming very important by calling my agent and being like, yo, I think someone made a mistake, we managed to get Tristan in. That felt cool. We got a powerful photo of Ben simply posted up and beeline directly to the bar to claim our 2 free drinks. At the party were a bunch of fellow Twitch and YouTube people and also some game developers. It was cool. Anyway, once that was done, it was nightclub time yet again.
There he is.
First up was an Irish pub where we each got a pint of Guinness, and Kai managed to get himself kidnapped by 2 Salvadorian women. While he was off getting driven around, we made our way into the first Mexican nightclub of the trip, which was a great idea because Mexican nightclubs go hard.
I wonder if they drink Mexican
anyway, we all got back home
Coca-Cola.
safe, including Kai.
It's pretty
and
good.
It was sleepy time. Day 5. We woke up. Another terrible mistake. Today we were even dustier, crunchier, and more putrid than yesterday.
Big fucking shit.
We had another nightmare shit rotation, this time at a restaurant.
Oh look, Tristan's gone. I wonder where he went.
At the convention, I spent more time making friends in the partner lounge, while the boys did their meandering. Tristan wrote an extremely important message on the positivity wall. Wood-fired pizza. What will pizza do now? And then we met back up at the cosplay contest, which was alright. There were some impressive costumes, like this one, and Black Panther. If he was thick. Anyway, the convention ended, and once again, it was party time. First up, of course, our mandatory hype session in the hotel room. Lots of alcohol, loud music from the TV, and some very powerful photography.
There seems to be a lot of alcohol in this involved with this trip in general. There was a Canadian Coca-Cola one time in the store, and that was pretty good too. Yeah, Mexican Coca-Cola, or not specifically, not Mexican Coca-Cola, but Mexican cola is like famous for being good. But the reason to why it's famous for being good is not because it's like insanely super special, but it's because they use real sugar, and Mexico is like close to the US where they use the fucking high fructose corn syrup instead. which is just garbage, and it makes everything super slimy and gross. So for the Americans who drink this like weird cancerous concoction known as high fructose corn syrup in basically everything that they consume, it's like heaven to drink actual real sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. So that's why the Mexican Coca-Cola or Mexican cola has such a good reputation, is because it's like the closest thing that they can get, I guess, where they use real sugar instead of this like AI generated substitute. High fructose corn syrup is the AI generated version of sugar. It's like it's canon now. Give me just a second. It's fucking hot here, and I need water. Okay, I have replenished my water, my 75 ppm water.
As I feel the heroin coursing through my veins, I think to myself, man, I wish I focused on my ATAR.
Tonight we had the TwitchCon party, which was not a party but a full-on concert, the lead act being Megan Thee Stallion.
I drank Sun's Sweet Strawberry Makean kesäinen mansikka limonadi Nokian Panimolta. So, strawberry lemonade. Doing my best to stay away from anything with the high fructose. Yeah, I was like, because I'm so fucking like a very needy piece of shit when it comes down to being a visitor. So I was in the States and I had this like, I really wanted some Mountain Dew, because Mountain Dew, like when you have that each like craving for Mountain Dew and then you get some Mountain Dew, it's like heavenly. But I only get it like once a year, maybe twice a year. And I got that craving when I was in the States for Mountain Dew. And we went to get some with Arcade, and I was pretty happy. And then I started drinking it, and I drank like maybe like 3 gulps or something, and I couldn't finish like the rest of it. It's distinctly different. It is very distinctly different. Like how what the high fructose corn syrup tastes like. It also has like a different kind of texture to it. It's a little bit slimier than real sugar is. Real sugar leaves that like sort of dry feeling in your mouth after it, but high fructose corn syrup leaves it kind of feeling like a swamp, which isn't super nice either. In fact, it's kind of disgusting. Yeah. So I was like, do you know if there's like real sugar in anything in here? And then we ended up, I don't remember if it was us or if it was Arcade's mom who found like Mexican soda. It was like this thingy with a bunch of different flavors, and that was like made with real sugar, and it was like good because it was made with real sugar. And Arcade was like, oh yeah, okay, I can kind of tell the difference here. And now that I've told him the horror stories of how high fructose corn syrup is banned everywhere, literally everywhere else except for the States, yeah, he's kind of scared of it now, which is good, because that shit is bad for you. Don't drink it. I have to go outside. The mökki has become an oven. I'll take mosquitoes over being cooked. Yeah, I totally get you. In here it's pretty hot as well. It's been a really hot day. My the little greenhouse Bempeli is going at full blast. It's going at 100% fan power to try to keep cool, and it's not helping. So it's rough. I can totally understand why my plants are not doing super hot in this season. In fact, I should spray them just a little bit. I should spray them just a little. In fact, yes, I will do that right now. Just a second. There we go. I gave them the last part of the spray can. I was told that if you let finished tap water sit, it becomes better for carnivorous plants. I tested it with my pregnancy test, and that's not true. It is not true, so it doesn't really matter how you sit around your water or whether if you do it or not. I can't wait for next week when my water purifier and my humidifier come in. Then the air will be super moist in there, even if it's really hot. So that's sort of what I'm hoping to remedy some of the really hot days with, hopefully. Also, hello, Shark. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Oh, yep.
Also, oh, chottomatte. Let's get some goodies. We've got some. I actually got this thing, so we actually have, and we get 20 of these gacha tickets. So I have actually been preparing a little bit for today's gacha pulls. We have not only have this guaranteed 3-star recruitment ticket, which always gives you a 3-star character. We also have 2 guaranteed 3-star mad personality recruit tickets, which is the personality type that what's her name is, the one that we're trying to get, Renua. And then we have 7 of these normal tickets. And then we have 41 gacha tickets and 3,000 crystal leaves. So we can get, also we have, let's see, this one. Let's get this one as well. We'll watch the video to the end, and then we will get some gacha rolls in. So while we're watching the video, send me your good luck particles so that we will finally get Renua, hopefully, and it's then time to gain big benefits for all of my efforts. Get this, and get this carrot. Look at this fucking freak. There she goes. Very good. Okay. And yeah, I actually drank some jarritos as well. I had cola and lime flavor thingy. The fan is blowing. at me. So let's make it so that the mic doesn't pick that up.
Way to the party, we stopped at 7-Eleven to get ourselves some pizza, and were greeted by our boy Bruce. We had gone to the 7-Eleven the past 2 days, and had met the legendary cashiers Bruce and Keenan. They were the suppliers of pizzas and good vibes throughout the TwitchCon experience, and tonight would be no exception, with them bestowing upon us their tastiest pizza. Further down the road,
You can
all
get
the boys
pizza
went
like
to
that
piss,
in
and
7-Eleven?
the cigar place let us use
What
their
the
toilet.
fuck?
Their single toilet.
That
Once-
like at first glance, that already looked better than all the pizza in Japan combined. What the fuck?
Again, we had another nightmare piss rotation on our hands. And then, of course, we got to the concert. It was good. Meg the Horse got some people on stage, one of which being Master Chief, which the crowd liked very much.
He's huge.
Tristan wasn't able to get into the concert despite our best efforts to sneak him in, so instead he went back to the cigar place and smoked a cigar
near me, you
with
can.
Muhammad, taking these
Goddamn.
insanely hard images in the process. After the concert, we met back up with Tristan and hit up yet another Mexican place. It was good. And then, of course, back at the hotel, it was sleepy time. To help us get some good sleep, Tristan had bought a bottle of gummy melatonins, which had the ability to turn all 5 of us into
Yeah,
rats
yeah,
for the
Japanese
duration of
pizza
the
was
night.
ass.
So we had some of those once it was time for bed. Of course, Sydney and I weren't particularly tired, so we performed an absolutely diabolical crunch on Tristan.
Hey, come on, stop, please stop.
Day 6. Another nightmare shit rotation, another visit to the convention center. Not much happened today, but I did meet Michael Reeves. So that was cool. We got a good Polaroid in front of the TwitchCon sign, visited the suspiciously unpopular child predator booth. I got recognized by a couple of people, which was nice, got some photos with more streamers, and that was pretty much it. The boys and I met at the closing ceremony, where they actually managed to get on the big screen during the event compilation thingy. And then, much to Tristan's joy, this guy busted out a freestyle.
Calm down. Big sex, big style. I'm the mind now. Thank my father. I had to move up. Thinking I was blessed.
And there we go.
He was having a great
TwitchCon
time.
was over. All in all, I had a really great time, despite feeling putrid for most of the event. TwitchCon really put this whole career into perspective and made me really appreciate all the time I've spent sitting at my desk making silly frog videos. Despite all the bad press the event ended up getting, some of it definitely valid, I would still recommend it if you're at all interested in content creation or just want to meet other people like you. Anyway, back to tonight, it was club time. We met up with some people I had met at TwitchCon and took on not a Mexican club, but an African American club. It was good. On the way home, we hit up 7-Eleven one last time, got a powerful photo with Bruce and Keenan, and purchased their tastiest pizza. And
There's
for
just
one
a
last
lot
time
of
at this
pizza in
hotel,
that
it
7-Eleven.
was not sleepy time, but time for bed. Day 7. We woke up. Gentlemen, it was Vegas time. We loaded our stuff into the Schnequinox and hit the road. We even got to use the carpool lane, since, you know, we had a pool in
It
the car.
sounds like some weird Finnish
How
music.
happy they are to be in a special little lane.
Our first stop was another fast food place, In-N-Out Burger. The food was decent, but it did have a few issues.
These chips suck ass.
In and Out is false advertisement. We were fucking anything but In and Out. We waited so long. Well,
Yes.
Alright, the only thing in and out was the lettuce in Sydney's ass.
Now, I liked the burger quite a lot, but the boys found it pretty mid, so the final decision was C tier.
Very good shot.
And with that,
Send those
back to the
particles
road.
my way.
Are we there yet? No, Tristan. We're not there yet.
We reached Vegas as the sun went down and took our very important sign photo.
Right to the right, Travis Scott.
It's there! Straight up!
Our hotel for this day was the Flamingo Las Vegas, a 3-star hotel right in the center of the strip. This hotel was absolutely gigantic, easily the biggest I've ever been in, which meant the concierge desk was less of a concierge desk and more of an airport check-in counter. About a dozen or so
That's what I was
concierges
thinking.
checking people
Kinda
in
looks like one.
constantly. The guy behind the desk would only talk very quietly, with his eyes closed, and kept trying to show me what he was doing on the computer. Trouble was, the system that the Flamingo runs on is clearly over 2,000 years old and was completely and utterly incomprehensible. At the hotel, we also noticed another demographic shift. The nerds, e-girls, and homeless of California had once again been replaced with the American middle class. Caesar's Palace was across the road, so we also checked that one out. It was,
There's a
interesting.
pee-pee.
Anyway, it was very late, and tomorrow we had a big day ahead of us. So once again, time for bed. Day 8.
It
woke
sounds
up
like Finnish
feeling
music.
fine.
It's definitely
Today
Finnish
was
music.
going to be very good. But first,
Sounds like drunk people
Taco Bell.
singing. It's always
Taco
Finnish
Bell
music.
was actually really good. We got ourselves some delicious hard-shell tacos and had a tasty breakfast. S tier, no question. Although we did have some mug root beer, which I assumed would be pretty good since there are so many memes about it, but oh my god, it was one of the worst non-alcoholic drinks I've ever had in my life. It was like drinking toothpaste, if toothpaste was bad for your teeth.
It's like toothpaste. I know.
The tacos were eaten, so we hopped back in the car and headed over to Battlefield Vegas. A place with guns. Lots and lots of guns. Wait, what? Okay. YouTube isn't too fond of guns, so if you want to see us shoot them, click here. Once it was all said and done, we had fired hundreds of rounds, killed a frog, and had a great time. Our instructor Harrison was super cool, so if you ever go to Battlefield Vegas yourself, ask for him. We got some hard photos, including this one, which was probably the hardest image of the entire trip, and continued our day. Lunch. This time, Burger King. Honestly, I don't have much to say about Burger King. The burger was a bit worse than In-N-Out, but the chips were way better, and they gave us crowns. So that means B tier. Back at the hotel,
B for
Ben
burger.
crafted the sleaziest fit
Very good.
I have ever seen in my life, which we affectionately named the Gerald Sprinter.
Jerry Sprinter.
Gerald Sprinter.
Right, ready?
1, 2, 3, go. On the agenda tonight was, can you believe it, another nightclub. The venue for tonight was Omnia, with Martin Garrix as a DJ. Oh yep. Our first impressions of the venue were, holy shit.
Yeah, I had a
wonders.
feeling.
Wow.
It sounded very
2 floors,
Finnish.
Capacity for 2,500 people, this big ring light thing, massive smoke blasters, the best lighting setup I've ever seen, and ceiling women. Which is why it's such a shame that it was ruined by the fucking dickhead security guards. I went to take a piss and drink some tap water because God knows I was not paying $13 for a bottle of water, and they would not let me back on the floor. I get it. The dance floor only has capacity for blah 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 blah, but another security guard came by and told me that he could get us back in for $20 per person. Just, no, fuck off. We could not get back in, so we ended up leaving early. On the way back home, a guy approached Tristan and said, "Hey man, you look like Michael Jackson. Cocaine?" We did not take him up on his offer. Anyway, we went home, and it was time for bed. Day 9. Not much happened today.
Flamingos.
Lunch was at Jack in the Box in the Hood, which I didn't think was particularly special, but the boys thought was great, so we met in the middle and decided on A tier. Then we did stuff for the rest of the day. Honestly, I can't remember, and we have no footage, but I did record this.
Let me look away real quick. Just look over here at the flamingos.
At night, we visited Fremont Street, which was the very first paved street in all of Las Vegas. The ceiling you see here is actually the largest screen in the world, spanning over 12,000 square meters. The street was full of interesting attractions, street performers, and strange places, like the Heart Attack Grill, where people over 350 pounds eat for free. We chose not to have dinner there because, I don't want to eat that. So instead, we chose White Castle down the street. Big fucking mistake. For those who don't know, White Castle prides itself on making little burgers called sliders. I have no problem with sliders. In fact, they can be really good. However, White Castles were not. To start, they gave us these so-called chicken nuggets. I say so-called because chicken nuggets should not have the same texture as calamari.
Yeah.
Tastes like shit. Then, the sliders came out. If I were to describe these in one word, it would be
they look
grim.
raw.
The meat sucked. The cheese
It's like still
sucked.
leaky.
The pickles were pickles. The bread was wet.
Oh, that's so wet. Ready?
I'll say White Castle.
I don't get how this place is successful. How do people like this? Other people
That
put this
doesn't
place
look
at B
good.
tier. How? The bread is so fucking wet. F tier. Fucking could be Z tier if that was on here. Literally the worst restaurant I have ever been to.
I want to punch White Castle.
Anyway, following our authentic White Castle experience, I went back to the hotel and bought a $31 pizza, and Ben recorded someone getting robbed.
That's crazy.
Anyway, time for bed. Day 10. At this point, I was sick of Vegas. Clearly, it is not made for people our age. Everything is ridiculously expensive, every place we went to felt like they were trying their hardest to suck as much money from you as they could, and it just generally gave me a shitty, gross vibe. Yuck people everywhere, sleazy salesmen and strip club promoters, and people just coming up to you in the middle of the path offering you drugs. Lucky for me, our stay was up, and it was time to head back to LA. We stopped on the way at IHOP. I got a huge plate of pancakes, and we did another shit rotation. The portions were American-sized, but the pancakes were pretty good. B tier. And what do you know? We're back in Los Angeles. For this leg of the journey, we had chosen a hotel in downtown LA. This hotel was quite nice, and crucially, close to several nightclubs. So once again, we hyped ourselves up in the hotel room. Kai gave us a rousing speech.
As Australians in Los Angeles, the city of angels, it just makes sense to me that we go the fucking hardest, alright?
We listened to some powerful music, and we hit another Mexican club. They only played Kumbaya. It was good. Pedjing. Who the fuck is Pedjing? Day 11. Another dusty wake up. We started the day off well with a phenomenally good breakfast at Denny's. I just want to say, Denny's fucks. Denny's was exactly what we needed after last night. It gave us the energy and power to take on the rest of the day. So Denny's goes in S tier. Later, we took a quick trip to Runyon Canyon and went for a short hike. It was nice.
So I was like, oh cool, like they just mistaken Gandalf for Sauron. GTA characters.
The rest of the day, we did our laundry, went to Goodwill, and once again, it was nightclub time. Tonight was a club crawl. 3 separate venues and about 40 people with us going between them. We started at this cool bar, then went to this other cool bar, and ended the night in this really cool converted bank vault. Sydney and I even witnessed 2 dudes fight right in front of us. Back at the hotel, Tristan had gotten so fucked that he decided to just curl up and sleep in the bathroom. And I think you know what that means? Time for bed. Day 12, our last full day in America. Once again, we woke up dusty and ate some more fast food. This time, Wendy's, which was decent, but really nothing special. So it ended up in B tier. We walked around a bit more, took more hard photos,
I like
saw
Wendy's.
Pedjing again.
It's pretty
Who is
okay.
this Pedjing fellow? And once again, got ourselves ready for another grouse night. Tonight's destination was Hollywood. Naturally,
But they're
we took
very
a bunch
not
of photos
good
with
for
the
you, the
stars, saw
burgers.
2 jokers having a deep and meaningful, went inside a Scientology place since we just couldn't resist, and made our way into the best club of the entire trip, Dirty Laundry. It was good. And of course, our last day, Day 13. We took our final hard elevator photo and had breakfast at Popeyes. This particular location clearly valued their security. They had a floor-to-ceiling glass panel with intercoms for communication and this one-way box thing. Very strange. High-security Popeyes was okay. B tier. We then dropped Ben off for his flight and wished him safe travels back to his homeland of Benin. Ben's flight was at 3 PM, but the rest of us flew out at midnight, so we had a bunch of time to kill. Lunch was at Five Guys, which people say is really good. It was good, but it wasn't amazing, so we decided on B tier. And that's the final list. To kill more time, we checked out this museum thing, went to a mall, found Obama Boulevard, had a look at a dispensary, and for our final attraction of America, we visited an American institution, Walmart. Kai found some beans, and Tristan had an expression of deep, indescribable sadness. I was sad too, Tristan, because this was the end of our 13 days of pure debauchery. Another 9-hour flight to Fiji, 13 hours in the airport, and then 5 more all the way.
Oh, that's rough.
Wait, no. No, the U2's wasn't supposed to break out. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no no no. Oh no. Ah, ah, ah.
Okay. Very cool. We have learned many things about America. Which is, I don't know if I want to know all that, but cool. We have the Tulpa guy. He has put some graphic design on his channel. And we're gonna watch some Tulpa videos. But before we do some Tulpa videos, let's roll some gacha. It's time to hopefully get this big cheek thing. And that's the goal for today. I need one more. But let's first roll this. We have 1 coin. This one isn't super important, so it doesn't matter if you don't send me luck particles for this. But let's see. Purple, purple. Yellow, blue again. Blue is okay. Green is bad. Blue is mid. Purple is okay. That's actually pretty good. Very cool. Then let's do the tickets first, because the tickets are something that can give us Renua, so we don't necessarily need to waste the crystals. But let's see. Fingers crossed. If I get any characters who are in my main lineup, these girls right here, or alternatively, where is she? This one. We're good. This one right here. Or the top 6 up here. Is also good. But Renua is obviously the one that we want the most, because I need one more of her to get the the thingy that I want. So let's see. First one, let's use someone I already have. Okay, it's a beast. No, it's a trash one. Trash. Okay, let's use. Okay, better. Let's try again. Okay, someone I already have. That makes sense because I already have all of them. Okay, beast one. Oh, okay. Diana is good. What about this one? Elemental. No, not this fucking freak. Ah, shit. Okay, Diana was good, but the other freak is not good. That was not good rolls. Any good ones here? No. Okay, well, fuck me. Okay. So we're back to this shit. Let's go, I guess. We have 40 plus 30, 70 rolls that we can go. We need just one more of her. Just one more. Give me, please. She's such a fucking pussy. She's like, I can take this much. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's please. Come on. Give us 3-star. Come on. Oh. Fuck. Okay, no luck on the first one. Let's do again. This is the second one. We have 7 total. Come on. 3-star. Give. Fuck. Skip. Okay. Third one out of 7. Come on. Please. Nah. Shit. Fourth one? Are you? No. Fifth one. Come on, give me a 3-star at least. Not a single one. We have not gotten a single 3-star for this whole fucking time. Come on. No? What? We have one more attempt. I have not got 0 3-stars in total for these the whole time. Come on. No! Okay, well, I got absolutely ass fucked this time. I got absolutely ass fucked. There was nothing there. Absolutely nothing. That's rough. That is rough. See you again next week, I guess. With some better, hopefully some better pulls. That was bad. That was like terror bad. That was like not even a 3-star. Like just ass. Fuck. That was not a good time. Well, Fuck me, I guess. Sheesh. No luck. No luck. Well, the event is still... It's a month-long event, so we're gonna get a lot more resources. The thing is that it might even be possible... Because I'm at 80, right? I need 300 to get her for free. You get 10 for each 10 character pool. So I'm what? 220 off until I can get her for free. Well, quote unquote for free. I think that might be possible during this event, because you get a lot of crystal leaves during this event. You get these... There's still a lot of these free things here. Free things here. We still have 20 40 more free tickets here. We have this, we have this. These, I don't think these increase devotion, but we have 40 of these free tickets still coming. And then all the crystal leaves on top of that, which there is quite a few of. Because you get like 500, 600 maybe every day. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe even like close to 1,000 every day. So if at the end of next week I have like 7,000 maybe, I'll be at 70 plus 40. That's 110. So then would be like 110 away from the guaranteed after next week, if I don't get her in the roles themselves. So there is still hope. There is still hope. I just need one more. I just need one more of her. Look at her being all sassy. To get this clock to level 2. This one I need. This one right here. The secondary passive. We have half of the tickets. You get 20 every time you pull her. So we have half of the tickets. We just need 20 more. And then she's complete. Well, not complete, but she's complete enough to be like completely broken. So there is still hope. I will make sure that I get as much of my resources as I can, so that I can maybe get her one final time. Very good. Okay. Let's watch some more funny videos to stave off this sadness. This sadness that I'm drowning in because I didn't get my fucking big cheek girl. Anyway, let's watch some fucking crazy Tulpa videos. These are... There's some crazy video subjects. These have been suffering a lot with the views. I feel like his videos, like the top 10 videos, had way more views than these. Can you craft it into a better one if you have... Okay, so to explain how it works very simply, basically every time you pull a 3-star character, like let's use Diana here as an example. When you get her for the first time from the gacha, she's at 3 stars like this, and she can only be upgraded to a specific point. Then we have this star up option here, where you need these tickets that are character specific. And when you pull her again in the gacha, you get more of these tickets, and once you get her tickets over the threshold, then she will become a 4-star, like we can see here. And once she hits 5 stars, by giving her enough tickets, she will unlock her yearning, which is like powerful new buffs that completely change how the character functions. Specifically, the second tier of the Yearnings always has a new passive skill. Like we can see it increases the enhanced attack recovery targets to 3. So she has her normal attacks, basically when she uses them, casts an enhanced spell dealing magical damage to the enemy and recovering the ally with the lowest remaining HP ratio. So basically, she has a chance to, like, a percentage-based chance to, whenever she attacks, she also heals one of your allies. But when you have the Yearning, it will change it to 3 allies, so she will send 3 healing things out at the same time. So she basically effectively triples her healing. Triples the healing, and also when combat starts, reduces the incoming critical damage of all allied mad personality apostles, excluding herself. So she gives like these powerful passive power buffs to the party, and this is basically what is the meta standard, is to get the characters to this point. So you need a bunch of rerolls to get the character from the gacha. But there is a pity system in the gacha if you have shit luck like me, where you can exchange devotion, 300 devotion, to get 20 tickets for her. And you get 10 devotion for each time you roll 10 times in the gacha. So basically it's 1-to-1. So if we can still roll 220 times, which actually doesn't sound that crazy, considering we just rolled 70 times by just waiting like a couple days, I will be guaranteed to get that last piece of renewal that I need to make her meta viable. So that's basically what I'm aiming for right here. But that's basically what we're doing. It we're just buying them license, like I guess a driver's license or something, so that they can use better weapons or something. I don't fucking know. But you need more of their tickets. Yeah, so he has like very few top 10s anymore. And we can see the view counts are pretty low. The stupidest fast food desserts sounds pretty powerful, to be honest. He really likes SpongeBob. There's a lot of SpongeBob videos. We could totally check this out. That seems like a video that we need to watch. Banned forgotten kids cartoon episodes. That could be interesting. Autistic cartoon characters. Which ones are on the spectrum? I mean, why not, I guess. We're not gonna watch that, though. These are, like... It's been a year ago, I guess. We haven't watched this stuff, a lot of, like, his stuff in a long time. There's a lot of autism themed videos here. I don't really know why. Let's see. Like, I mean, this sounds pretty fun. We could watch this. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Weirdest vending machines. That sounds good too. We'll watch these videos. I feel like howdy. These videos are probably, he still starts his video the same way. We'll start our videos with these. This is I feel like a good set of some Pulp Fiction that we can enjoy tonight. And then I'm gonna go into the crystal leaf mines to farm some crystal leaves to hopefully be able to roll for Renua for that 210 times. And if we don't get her, we are guaranteed that free one. Anyway, let's learn what are the weirdest vending machines. If I don't see the used panties vending machine here, I'm gonna be very disappointed. But his channel is very like SpongeBob oriented, so it might be something too horny for him. His tulpas dictate how he has to start his videos. He can't shake that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. They have like started to sort of poison his reality to the point where he is unable to like distance himself from the character. The character that he presents himself as is already becoming a tulpa as well, most likely.
Have you ever wanted a pizza freshly cooked straight from the vending machine? How about a tasty slice of cake? Or a fresh burrito?
The world's best vending machine!
There's lots of weird kadunka machines out there, so let's dig up the 15 craziest vending machines around the world. On a side note, I'll be using the word kadunk instead of vending machine, because kadunk is a really fun word. Anyway, let's see some kadunk machines. Let's start with number 15, Reese's Unwanted Candy Machine. Remember Halloween trick-or-treating? If you're in America, you probably do. Some people are disappointed when they receive candy like Tootsie Rolls or licorice. But what if you could replace those unwanted candies with Reese's chocolates? Given it's the most popular Halloween candy in America, I can see that being a popular idea. Reese's brought out the Halloween Candy Converter Machine in 2018. According to their studies, apparently 90% of Americans wish they could trade their Halloween candy. In their own words,
disappointment goes in, Reese's cups come out.
What did you expect?
First tulpa encountered. First tulpa encountered. The blonde girl is the first tulpa that we have encountered for this round. Let's count how many ones we can find.
Expect from the goat of Halloween. Hashtag not sorry. And customers were lining up to trade in their unwanted candy. Seeing those Reese's cups kadunk
How does this work,
brought
though?
some ecstatic smiles to young kids' faces.
Is this just like a promotional thing, or is it like pay your weight in sugar and we will give you Reese's?
And plenty of adult faces. It's a win-win for both customer and company, really. Reese gets further product exposure on the most profitable night, and customers get free Reese's candy, so why not? And for number 14,
okay, so it's just a promotional
vending machine.
thing.
Microwave pizza just met its match. Why settle for soggy microwave pizza just because you're in a rush?
Brother,
Now you can swipe your card at a vending machine, push a button, and 3 minutes later you got a freshly made pizza. The machine, called Let's Pizza, can make an entire pizza from scratch all inside the vending machine. And I'm not kidding, it can even knead and cook the dough from scratch as well. Once the flour is prepared, the kadunk machine mixes the dough and kneads a 10.5.
I don't know if I've actually ever had a Reese's cup. I don't know. Arcade, did we ever eat these? Did I ever eat these in the States? I don't recognize it.
Half-inch pizza base. It adds the topping you choose and then puts the pizza
Looks
into
like
an infrared oven.
Like
Finally,
mildly
kadunk-
familiar. Like I've definitely seen at least like promotional material of it, but I don't know if I've ever actually eaten one of those. It's all corn. I mean, obviously it is. Who doesn't have a pizza vending? Yeah, like a pizza vending
Without the
machines,
box
like
and
everyone knows
pushes
they
it out to
exist.
the customer. Amadeus found a very similar vending machine that made pizza in about 5 minutes for about £7. They could actually smell the pizza as it was being cooked inside the vending machine.
You can smell it already.
It basically popped out of the machine like an old disk drive would from, say, a computer or a DVD player. It actually looks pretty decent, if a bit burnt. Dancing Bacon's also found a pizza vending machine at a zoo in Singapore. Much like the other pizza machines, it spits the pizza out like a disk drive. Their pizza was less burnt, but smaller and uncut. As most people carry pizza cutters in their pocket, I guess this isn't a problem. I mean, Dancing Bacon's does, but that's Dancing Bacon's. It tasted good though, and they particularly like the big dollops of mozzarella cheese. Personally, I'd be more tempted to try a pizza straight out of the vending machine rather than bothering to go order it. So I think a kadunk pizza is a great idea. And for number 13, we have the Smack for Ketchup vending machine.
Smack for Heinz, you come around,
You give that bottle a smack.
This one was actually recommended by my Lego friend Sarah, aka Just Too Good. We'll get to her recommendation
Imagine having Lego friends. That's so cute. He like categorizes his friends by like what product they're interested in. What kind of friend am I? What kind of friend am I? I'm like carnivorous plant friend, I guess, because that's the one thing that other people don't have going for them, I guess. I don't think you got too much candy while you were here. If you did, it was like one and done situation. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I didn't really eat candy in the States. I don't really eat candy in general. It's not really my thing. Your giraffe friend, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, I don't really eat candy. I just, I don't know. I've always been more into salty things than sweet things. So, you know. He's 10,000% on the spectrum. I mean, well, his tulpa at least is.
shortly, but there's actually now two styles of ketchup vending machine. Bit of backstory, Chicago has an unofficial rule of the Chicago hot dog.
But his tulpa videos, though, because they're so genuine, I feel like there's a charm to them, even though it's obviously like, this is like the kind of content that children maybe, when you're like 7 years old and you have just upgraded your brain capacity from Coco Melon to adult YouTube, this is like the video that you watch. But but the videos are they're like an electronic drug that we will consume every now and then to get into this lore a little bit more. But we haven't encountered the tulpa yet, like the one that you can see in the channel description image, the dark one with the yellow eyes. So let's see if we can encounter the original tulpa during this.
And that is no ketchup. I think Heinz took this really personally, so as an act of defiance, Heinz placed ketchup vending machines all around the town, such as outside Wiener Circle, which specializes in Chicago-style hot dogs. The official Wiener Circle motto is,
What the f do you want?
a WGN News reporter checked it out. As the reporter says,
What you do with these are up to you.
I think the commenter Queen Ruler made a good point with this machine.
It's ingenious because in Chicago, they never include ketchup in the bag with your fries.
My friend Just Too Good recommended the Ketchup Remix vending machine. These new digital Kadunk machines are way more high-tech than the Smack machines. These machines are capable of...
I really wish he didn't call it a Kadunk machine. That just has so much like... That just has so much like... This isn't funny whatsoever, and you're the only person who could ever possibly think this is funny kind of energy. But it's also like, we did start watching this channel exactly for this purpose. So I guess he should keep calling them Kadunk machines. He should do that. But I wish we could see his tulpas more.
Serving over 200 different sauce combinations, such
Jalapeno
as mayo
ketchup
chup.
sounds actually
For those
pretty
who
cool,
can't be
pretty
bothered
good.
adding both tomato sauce and mayo on their food, it's literally just the two of them. It is, of course, being unveiled in Chicago, because Heinz...
I was grilling Mae-mae today once more, and I was grilling some halloumi cheese, sausage, some kind of grill skewers. There was grilled paprika, grilled cherry tomatoes, these little asparagus tails that had bacon wrapped around them, spring onion with bacon wrapped around them, and I think that was it. It was good though. It was good, and I grilled it, and I was able to actually not completely fuck everything up. So take that, all of you doubters who doubt my cookering skills, okay? It was live coals. Yesterday it was the briquet or whatever, briquette coals. Today it was normie coals. Normie coals are definitely a bit better for like cooking of our caliber, Because the briquet coals, I feel like, are more for like a barbecue party or something like that, where you need to cook a bunch of stuff over the fire for a long time. But the normie coals were great for the amount of food that we had today, which was a lot still, at least for me.
Really wants to break Chicago's stringent sauce rules, and I kind of love it.
Well,
what, honey?
how does ketchup taste?
Oh, for goodness sake, everyone's tried ketchup. Look, I'll pull some out of the kitchen right now. All right, let's try out some ketchup.
No, don't put it on your finger.
The nice thing about ketchup is it has that lovely sweet and savory kick to it, turning almost any food into a tastier treat. Your steamed vegetables too bland? Add tomato sauce. Your scrambled eggs too bland? Add tomato sauce. Is that an adequate review, honey?
Yeah.
What is...
Anyway,
oh,
this is the most...
fuck. Do you guys see that? He is becoming a tulpa himself. He's no longer human. He's becoming this creature. Slowly but surely. It's manifesting every now and then, but it's not completely there yet. We can still see his real person every now and then.
Obvious taste test I've ever done, so let's move on. And at number 12, we have the soft serve vending machine ATM. There is a surprising amount of ways to get instant soft serves around the world, particularly in the Eastern world like South Korea and Japan. There's a few of them, so let's start with this vacuum ice cream vending machine. You start by picking your flavor on the screen, you pay for it, and then your ice cream flavor is pulled out with a vacuum before it kadunks down in the slot for you to enjoy. If we step over to Japan, Baskin-Robbins has an ice cream vending machine too.
Yeah, right? like nobody has ever heard of ketchup. This is the man who will be hired for that purpose. It is an exquisite treat that only the highest of caliber of people will ever have the honor of enjoying.
In these machines, they offer 7 flavors, including chopped chocolate and caramel ribbon for 350 yen per cup. But it's all pre-packaged and you don't get to see the inside fun, so it's not as interesting as some of these others. Singapore has some unusual kadunk machines too. This design particularly feels really elegant, as it's like a robotic hand completely prepares your soft serve ice cream just as a human would. The robotic hand pulls out the cup and places it under the spout where it dispenses your ice cream flavor of choice. It then carefully places the cup for you to pick up, all in about 15 seconds, which is impressive. Because it's not pre-packaged with a lid and is dispensed in front of your eyes, it feels like the most authentic ice cream experience. It's kinda like a human is available to make your ice cream 24/7, and won't judge you if you show up in your pajamas at 3 AM. This soft serve vending machine offers a similar design but with some weird flavors like cheese flavored soft serve ice cream. Oh, we gotta know how this one tastes.
It may sound weird, but the cheese professor says cream cheese is used in lots of desserts.
What the fuck is a cheese professor? I don't think there's a cheese professor. Is this a tulpa as well? Is this a tulpa? Is this a new creature that he has created from the depths of his mind?
Like cheesecake.
Wait, there's a cheese professor now?
Yeah. Hutch Food tried the cheese
No
ice
explanation
cream.
whatsoever. It just exists. That's how they begin. That's how they begin.
Had salty bits of cheese strewn all through it.
It tastes like caramel, but the bits of cheese taste weird. I could do with never eating this again.
Munchies and Greg's Kitchen tried blue cheese ice cream.
He also thought it tasted like salted caramel, and he thought it was an unbelievably tasty combination. But if you're not a fan of blue cheese, you probably won't like this flavor. My favorite ice cream kadunk machine is...
That is a really interesting question, Yasu. That is a really interesting question.
...is in Thailand. It's called the AI bot. In this massive glass machine,
Very
the robotic
creative
hand
name.
fills the cup, shakes it down, layers the syrup, and carefully places
We have
it
been
to you.
focusing on
Seeing
these
this thing
ice
in
cream
action is
things
a
for
damn
quite a bit.
spectacle. And at number 11, we have the Subway vending machine. Why get your sandwich made by filthy, gloved human hands when you could get your Subway made all...
Maybe because the tagline of Subway is eat fresh. And this is completely antithetical to the whole concept of eating fresh.
almost instantly by a robotic vending machine. No need for social interaction. What the hell is wrong with me? Plus, they're available 24 hours a day. So now, you and I can finally have that 4 AM Subway sandwich. Sino on my Twitter recommended this one. He found them at his local college campus. He offered to try the turkey and
Yeah,
veggie
we can
delight.
also see, like, the I guess this is the target audience that we can see right here. The username is Sinnoh Shroob. It's a Nintendo fanboy. Sinnoh is the fourth generation region of Pokemon, and Shroob is a creature from one of the Super Mario RPG games, if I'm not completely mistaken. There are people, like I know people, especially on Fur Affinity, who are completely obsessed with these mushroom creatures. So I guess these they're like the Nintendo adult versions of Disney adults, I guess. That's his target audience, I think. That could very well be. These are the Nintendo adults.
For the video, and I appreciate it. He said it tasted pretty decent. It tasted like a standard turkey sandwich, but with less veggies than normal. It also came with pre-packaged Subway branded mayo. You have to sauce up the sub yourself, so there's plenty of types of pre-packaged sauces available. And the process of ordering your sub is selecting a sub or salad in the digital board. Then choose what you want on your sub or salad, zap it on your card, and down it kadunks. Though I definitely noticed the bread looks more squished when it's placed into a tight plastic packet, but all the reviews I saw said they tasted the same as a regular handmade sub, so it might be a good 24-hour option. And next up we have the baguette vending machine. Let's travel to France. But what if our local boulangerie, aka bakery, is closed? Well, that's okay, because the French have a kadunk machine dispensing baguettes. This solves the age-old problem of when the bakers go on their lunch break and close. Or maybe the boulangerie lunch line is out the door and you just can't be bothered facing that. Baguettes are a common French staple for lunch, so it seems like a good solution. In case you don't know, baguettes are similar to baked bread. They're typically crusty and beautifully colored on the outside.
What do you mean?
While buttery...
Giotto matte. Baguettes are similar to baked bread. Can you guys give me an example of a bread that is not baked? Isn't all bread baked? Am I like, is this some kind of new dimension shit that I just don't understand? What does that sentence mean? Plenty of optional sauces available, such as this neat, sweet, and sour type tomato-based sauce called ketchup.
Soft and chewy on the inside. Typically they're made of flour, yeast, salt, and water. So anyway...
That's literally what every fucking piece of bread is made out of, motherfucker.
The blogger French Collection was in the bustling, wealthy French town of Guaretz, and their boulangerie was closed. But outside their local bakery was one of these baguette kadunks. Once they inserted their €206, they could hear the baguette, but it was a mystery where it was. €6. But outside their local bakery was one of these baguette kadunks. Once they inserted their €206, they could...
260? Did he just say 260? Am I... He kind of like slurs his words a little bit. Maybe the toll plate's in his mouth now. But like, did he say €260?
Closed, but outside their local bakery was one of these baguette kadunks. Once they inserted their €206, they could hear the baguette.
And 6 or 60 euro. Did he say 206 or 260 euro? I don't think he understands how euro works. I don't think he understands what euro is. I'm guessing he's probably not from Europe, because that's one fucking expensive baguette. If it's 206 or 200, it doesn't even matter whether if it's 206 or 260. It must be €2.60. That's what I'm thinking too. But he's saying 260. I think he thinks euro is like yen. I think he probably thinks that euro is like yen, where like 2 USD or Australian dollars 260 is like 260 yen. So he doesn't understand that euro isn't. Let me check the comments. Does anyone comment about that? No one's commenting about it. That was. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't know. Nobody in the comments was questioning it either. So I think all of his comments are either Australian or American, and they don't understand how euro works. And as Arcade, for example, discovered today, it's probably better if you don't understand how euro works, because the USD value is down to fucking oblivion because of Mr. Trump in charge. So he still owed me a little bit for the Japan trip stuff and whatever, and there was like 100 USD extra on top of the charge because the value of USD is so ass right now. Oh, it's fucking rough. God bless America.
But it was a mystery where it was coming out. Suddenly the money dispenser opened and voila, fresh baguette. But was it as good as the standard baguette in a bakery? My baguette was as warm and fresh as if I'd bought it in store. I used one in Gorek, Guinea, and in a village nearby to my home. Raving rabbits.
I'm so sorry, that was terrible.
And at number 9, we have the cake vending machine.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. They are also known as cake ATMs.
That was a very insightful comment. Cake is delicious.
Yep, and these
I'm
delicious...
sorry, I shouldn't be this cancerous about this. I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit toxic today, I guess. I'm feeling a little bit we watched that video about the guy making cyanide poison, and it has like caught onto me. The fact that I couldn't get my renewal has made me a little bit more toxic than usual. God damn.
ATMs are found throughout the USA and Canada. As you might assume, they dispense cakes. Hey hun, what are some of the cake flavors?
It dispenses many flavors of cake slices: chocolate, rainbow, and red velvet.
They sound pretty fresh too, as new cakes are restocked daily.
I was thrown in jail for eating the last piece of cake.
Oh, well, anyway, these cakes are grabbed by a mechanical arm and then gently delivered to the dispense slot. And of course, forks are provided if you want to eat a slice like dem fancy folks. Japan and Singapore topped other countries in the weirdness with the cake in a can vending machine.
Why would they put cake in a can?
So it can kadunk, of course. Since the cake's in a can, it can comfortably survive the drop from the top of the machine to the receiving slot with that satisfying kadunk.
That seems silly.
I call it fine aesthetics. It's gotta have the kadunk. Dancing Bacon's tried the canned cake and it opened just like a soda can. And you basically eat it just like a normal cake with a spoon. And while we're on the subject of cakes, let's also check out number 8, the Cupcake ATM. The company Sprinkles made the Cupcake ATM way back in 2012. Anything they're baking fresh that day gets cycled into their cupcake vending machine. That gives people easy access 24/7. Or if they don't want to socially interact with people.
Honestly, if I saw a cake in a can vending machine in Japan, I might try to be fair. I might give it a go as well.
And on the fun, we get a camera view of the robotic arm selecting the cupcake. And within seconds, the rotating door opens and you get yourself a fresh box cupcake. And if you're really into cupcakes, you can even buy a full cupcake vending machine off Alibaba for $3,900. Though given bakeries like Tiffany's Bakery,
I mean, that's not even bad. That's like less than your average Pokemon card.
For around $20, maybe you should instead just buy 1,872 cupcakes for the same price. Or, you know, not spend $3,900 on cupcakes anyway. And for number 7, we have the fries vending machine. I mean, you could get your fries served to you by a fast food worker, or you could get your fries within 35 seconds from a fries kadunk machine. As they show here, you simply add funds, choose your condiments, press the start button, and down kadunks your crispy fries. Fresh, hot, and ready to eat. I found these fries machines are really rare, scattered sporadically around the world. But of course, Singapore
one
has
in
every
Norway?
vending machine under the sun.
Okay.
So our friend Dancing Bacon's found a fries machine too. And after 35 seconds, this is the result. Honestly, appearance-wise, they look a bit stale and oily, but Bacon seemed to find them hot and crispy enough with evenly spread salt, though they did note the oiliness as well. Honestly, looking at the result of these machines, I think I'd rather just cook some fries myself in the oven, or, you know, just get them from a fast food place. And at number 6, we have the burrito box vending machine. Behold, Chipotle-style burritos straight out of the Kadunk machine, proclaimed to be shockingly good by Business Insider. This could be a new high for food distribution technology, but perhaps a new depressing low for Mexican cuisine. This is the world's first automated burrito kiosk, and I think the last. They weren't very popular. Vlog Mike checked out the machine in LA. When you press a button on the machine, cheery music plays. Menu items include bacon egg burrito and grilled steak burrito, $5 each. And like any good burrito, there's...
I feel like egg especially is one of those ingredients that isn't gonna survive super well in a box like this for a long time. It's just, I don't know. It sounds a little like the whole thing, like the hygiene aspect of this system seems weird to me.
The option of guacamole, sour cream, or hot sauce. You then get 90 seconds where some rockin' music plays and your burrito is prepared. So Vlog Mike and his friends decided to dance a bit. Adds to the experience, I guess. 90 seconds later, down kadunks a steaming hot burrito. There's not much magic to show you on this one, as there's less cooking happening. Instead, the burrito box is restocked.
To be fair, if you go to the right places, USA people really know how to do their junk food right. Like, they really, really do. But most of the places these days are just basically just money laundering schemes or something along those lines, where they don't actually give a shit about anyone except for themselves and the money. But like, they are like the fat bastards of the universe. Like, and they have to be like that for a reason, and the reason is because they know how to make shit taste like heaven. Like, good American junk food, or like proper American burgers, can be like absolutely amazing, or like this kind of stuff too. Don't know about burritos and stuff. I had a good burrito when I was in the States, to be fair, but it was from like a Mexican maybe, or something like that, a small business that was at a food court. But they do know their stuff. But when it comes down to American marketing, someone saying something is shockingly good is not necessarily the most trustworthy thing, for sure. So you are absolutely correct on that.
Every 1 to 2 days. Vlog Mike and his dancing friends were clearly a little tipsy when trying this machine.
Exactly.
But Mike said the burrito tasted fine and was even better with extra guacamole. But as I said earlier, this one never took off. And any videos I found on the burrito box are 8 to 10 years ago. So I guess LA just wasn't looking for a fast, easy burrito any time of night. Next up, we have the cotton candy vending machine.
Ooh, we've seen this.
Yeah, we have. Finally, a vending machine available in our own country.
Oh,
As
he's
I said in my
Australian.
local
Right.
food court, I've seen many happy
No wonder he
kids
doesn't know what a
purchase one of
euro
these
is.
cottony, sugary treats. And judging by their
I
smiles
fucking love
afterwards, they
cotton
like
candy.
the taste. It feels like you're at a fairground. The machine even shows you it's spinning the cotton candy as it's made.
What is it doing? It's making me like a little bird. I love this.
But hey, it'd be fun to check this one out myself. I'll head down to the mall and show you.
And we can actually see all the action from down here. Let's go with Wild Winter. That looks delicious. Oh, here we can see the magic starting. The whole thing comes up here and it starts spinning round. Now it looks like a spider web. Oh, and it slides up like so. And the fairy floss is ready. Oh. How did I eat this stuff as a kid?
Our next choice is the ramen bowl vending machine. Let's travel over to Japan, the home of ramen, and most definitely the home of vending machines of all types. From toys to burgers to toasties to more toys. So of course, with the average Japanese busy lifestyle, they'll of course have a ramen vending machine for a quick easy
The fucking cotton candy machine, my friend's younger brother that dragged us along to see him get one. Oh, I see.
snack.
Also, you don't really see any kind of food vending machines around in like the cities and stuff like that. You only see these apparently on like truck stops and stuff like that.
Experienced Japan found a ramen machine that spits out the ramen completely heated and
Yeah,
cooked.
see?
It
It's
pushes
like
out
it's like a parking area or something like that on the road is where these usually are.
much like the disc tray pizza machine gave. And poor JPKO Countryside found the most run-down, crappy-looking vending machine selection I've ever seen. But included among them was a cup noodle ramen vending machine. Let's see if it still works. Why, yes it does, and disposable chopsticks are included. The hot water machine seems to work fine, so JPKO was able to get some instant ramen. Looks delish. Amazing how such a lousy, rundown place could turn out such a top-notch looking ramen. What's next? And
That's
number 3.
literally just a cup ramen. That's not a top-notch looking ramen. Man has never eaten anything except for cup ramen in his life, and he thinks that's, oh fuck, this is the perfect form of ramen. God fucking damn it. I actually have some top good cup ramen that I could go for maybe.
We have the burger vending machine. Oh, now we can get our burgers kadunked out of the Robo Burger machine.
Ooh,
He still
yum!
keeps calling
That
it
sounds
kadunk.
delicious.
It sounds tasty alright, but I worry at this rate AI will make fast food jobs redundant within a couple of decades. Though it's worth mentioning, Japan has had burger vending machines for a lot longer than America, such as KBD Production shows us here. It came in a small box, heated via microwave, and KBD found it tasted meh. Yeah, it sure looks meh, with inconsistent texture and a bland flavor. But I think it's important to mention, Japan's had this technology for a long time. To
Yeah,
Western
it
countries
is.
like America though, kadunk burgers are a much newer concept. One pioneer is Robo-Burger vending machines. CNET found a Robo-Burger machine in a New Jersey shopping mall. It was a towering 7-foot tall machine. But for all its heft, the burger still takes 7 minutes to go from a frozen patty to a very messy burger. But let's go with an open mind. Bridget got to customize whether her burger included cheese, mustard, or sauce. I like that Bridget could smell the oven cooking her burger from inside the machine. It's fun for the build up for the magic happening. Inside the machine, the bun is toasted, the patty is cooked, and the toasted bun receives its sauces. And finally, a robotic hand slaps the burgers together. Even if the burger was messy, it does look a whole lot tastier than what KBD was given in Japan, and Bridget was impressed with the taste. It was hot and it had the
That's the reason to why it is so that this looks way better than that is because this is probably like a novelty item, whereas in Japan that is like a trucker stops here, needs some shit slop to eat, consume shit slop. That's basically the difference, I guess. Whereas this is like, oh, look at what this technology can do. Soon we will have machines replacing even more jobs. And in Japan, it's more like a necessity that, okay, we'll try to bring them a luxury experience of cool fast food. But we all know that it's not going to be that good.
freshness of what she might expect at a barbecue with a nice charred crunch. Of the machines, Robo-Burger would be my first preference, but personally, I'd still prefer to get my burger from a human.
You can bet your ass that it doesn't read our story next to the fucking Japanese burger thing. It's like minimum ingredients, only contains this much carcinogen might be like all that is written on it.
And next up we have the crab vending machine. Why wait in line at a grocery store when you could buy your crab from a vending machine? Japan, Singapore, and China have their own selection of crabs ready to be dunked out of a slot. In Singapore's case, House of Seafood tried a cooked crab vending machine. His crab was cooked and ready within 5 minutes.
Whoa!
It gives you the option for hot or frozen, but holy cow, $80?
But the machine accepts both cash and card transactions.
Well, good luck inserting that in quarters. As a chef, Dado thought that something has to be sacrificed for this sort of convenience. Well, let's see. How's it taste?
That's good chili crab.
If I closed my eyes, I would never have guessed this was cooked weeks ago.
In Japan's case, we have a less prepared, more basic option. Bonjin Diary found a kadunk machine that offered boiled crab, peeled crab, and crab meat for 500 to 900 yen. They even come in a paper explaining how to prepare the crab. After boiling the crab, Bonjin tried the crab in a meal and called the taste unique and rich.
So that's what I taste like.
In Nanjing, China, our crab comes in the depths of a subway train station. It kadunks down like a traditional machine and it's restocked daily. And holy cow, it's still alive. And a little cranky, unsurprisingly. Yeah, I think I've had my share of crab kadunks. What's next? And for number 1, we have the bug vending machine, aka the Mo-bug vending machine. I know they're high in protein and minerals, but aw, nasty.
You're learning to love them.
I should have known my Aussie brethren would be willing to try this. Mitch lives in Japan, and he happened upon this rather unusual vending machine. While eating bugs isn't super trendy in Japan, it's common enough that these Mo-bug machines are all over the country. You can of course buy mealworms here in Australia, but they're typically a snack we feed to birds. But these bug vending
Or
machines have a
carnivorous
selection of
plants.
bugs for your snacking pleasure,
Ooh, the little green-filled kind.
including silkworm, beetles, crickets, and of course mealworms. The crickets even come in small, medium, and large. How thoughtful. They're presented cold and carefully packaged within a jar. Mitch's decision on what to buy seemed to come down to, oh, these look nasty, let's get him.
Alright, yeah, righto.
I mean, those look nasty as hell.
They look nasty, man.
Yeah.
Their machine even has a drink made of bugs and eel cola. I applaud your creativity, Japan. Very close to what I'd enjoy doing.
It had a
They ate
picture
these
of
bugs
a
down in the
water
forest.
scorpion on
The
it.
nastiest one first, righto. Let's do it.
How'd they taste?
Yeah,
guys?
yeah, I have a feeling that the bug machines are not all over the country, but he saw 5 or something, and that's enough for him. Because Australia only has like these tiny little smidges of area in the country where people can live, because the jellyfish, the spiders, the scorpions, the kangaroo rule over the country otherwise. So they have a different concept of what all over the country kind of means, so we can't really blame him for this.
A little mealy.
The silkworm are pretty good and taste like salted nuts. The bamboo caterpillar looked nasty, but they tasted nice, like prawn crackers. Flamin' dingo struth, mate.
Itadakimasu.
Not bad. That's my second favorite.
Surely the crickets didn't taste good. What do they think of the texture?
Oh, fuck, no way. I better wash it down with some eel cola, mate.
Outback Steakhouse Extreme. Punish your toilet.
Well, they're braver than me for trying them at all. Kangaroo remains one of the most sustainable meats on our planet, so for now, I think I'll stick with that for my protein. Kangaroos are awesome. Personally, I don't think these vending machines are a bad or a good thing. The cynic in me says kadunk machines could
Kind of disappointed we didn't see more tulpas. That was a pretty long video, actually. This one is a little bit shorter. I guess we could maybe watch one more of these tulpa videos. Or would you guys rather... I think I want to watch this one. This one sounds good. This one's probably like 7 minutes again, so we'll definitely watch this one for sure. Yeah, 7 minutes is perfect. His videos are a little bit longer than they used to be. I think they were like 10 minutes, 15 minutes back in the day. That one was like fucking 30, 40 minutes or something. This one's probably doable still. We'll see.
This chemical recipe book from 1933 is one of the coolest things I've ever found in a trash can. And you guys seemed to really like it when I tested all the crazy recipes inside. So without further ado, here's part 2. Alright, I gotta state the obvious here. Please don't try any of these recipes at home. Like if you were to take some random person off the street and have them try all the recipes in this book, they almost certainly would get killed before finishing it. So please leave that to me. According to this recipe, molasses with just a pinch of neurotoxin is all it takes to keep your high voltage contraptions from arcing over. So let's give this thing a shot. Look at
I like how he specifies how absurdly awful this shit is for you.
possibly go wrong. Now, I've had more than my fair share of lead exposure over the years, so I decided to sub out the lead oxide with some bismuth trioxide. It's chemically pretty similar. Here I've broken out Old Smoky, and as you can tell, she's definitely seen better days. Now, she only outputs about a volt, but she can output about 1,000 amps.
What the fuck?
Alright, can this molasses mix stop Old Smoky? Let's find out. Yeah, it looks like it. Impressive. Now, it doesn't take crazy recipes to stop a single volt, but let's see if this molasses stuff can stop some real voltage. Here goes nothing. Ha, it's like there's nothing even there. Although granted, it is very hard to stop 100 kV. Here's one that will kill me a lot slower than most of the other recipes in this book. It's a recipe for vanilla icing. Now I'm a terrible cook, but this sounds like something I can do. Now I didn't need 7 pounds of this stuff, so I scaled it back quite a bit. And also I decided to leave out the egg whites because I'm not feeling a case of salmonella today. Alright, let's give this vanilla icing a try. It's actually pretty good. I'm impressed, really. Although, even though it's satisfying to my taste buds, it still doesn't satisfy my urge to light things on fire. Luckily, you only need 1 extra chemical in order to convert delicious treats into extremely high temperature burning incinerating mixes, and that's some good old-fashioned potassium chlorate. Let's see how well this stuff burns.
I like how he just owns, like, fuses. Because he just burns fucking... That's crazy.
Oh, look at that. It is flammable.
You don't say.
That's what 1,000 calories looks like. And you know, compared to all the other crazy stuff this book's made me make, this stuff actually smells pretty pleasant. It's still burning like a minute later. That's fun.
Yeah, it's not volatile at all.
It seems awesome, but it's straight up suicide. It's a recipe for tracer bullets, and it's based off of a bismuth type of thermite. And it makes an extremely bright light. I've actually made similar mixtures in pyrotechnics. But it wants me to press it with 1,000 pounds of force. You want to know why I'm not going to press it with 1,000 pounds of force? Here's some of this mixture right here. As you can tell, this mixture is extremely friction sensitive. So this is not something I'm going to press with 1,000 pounds. On further evaluation, this recipe is really too clever not to try. So like I said, it's a type of thermite with bismuth trioxide reacting with magnesium. But the book uses an abundance of magnesium. That way when the reaction starts burning, the excess magnesium gets heated up, which burns in air to make it extremely bright. But what's also awesome is that the metallic bismuth that's generated in the reaction is also very hot, and that will also react with the oxygen in the air, burning to make more of the bismuth trioxide. So in the end, you're only driving the reaction by burning magnesium, but you have a bunch of sources of bright white light. So I'm going to give this a try anyway. I don't feel like blowing my hands off today, so I made a slight modification to the mixture, and that was just by adding 5% red gum. Now this stuff is essentially glue. That means I can just dump in some solvent and turn this stuff into pellets without compressing it and blowing off my limbs. Now these pellets won't be as structurally strong as if I would have actually pressed them, but I won't be shooting them out of a gun at supersonic speeds, so I don't need that kind of strength. Instead, I'm just going to toss them in my black powder cannon. Why do I even own a cannon? Here's the first test shot, with about 50 grams of the tracer pellets. I made these a bit too small because they burned up a few feet after leaving the barrel, but it's also because they're only going maybe a couple 100 miles per hour as opposed to supersonic like a bullet. I tried it again with bigger...
Imagine being this guy's neighbor. Yeah, it's clear that he lives in like the fucking forest from that fucking Resident Evil 8 starts in. This man lives somewhere in there. He is one of the monsters that you can encounter in the game, for sure. He's like a hidden boss. Because getting hit by his weird fucking hobo cannon, I wouldn't want to be on that end.
Grain size, and the effect was a lot cooler.
You can see the burning bits just flying around.
I would have
on ground that is full of dry leaves.
I think the neighbors had had enough. Alright, this one seems pretty interesting. It's a recipe for an
He said that he has neighbors, but we all know he's lying. He doesn't have neighbors.
Fogging compound. And I mean, it's 2017 and my windshield still fog up, so let's try it to see if this thing works. I mixed up some of this anti-fog compound, but I decided to go a lot lighter on the soap, because nowadays our soaps are much, much stronger than they were in 1933. I'm only going to paint this stuff on half of this little piece of glass here. That way one side will act as a control. I threw that piece of glass inside the freezer to see if I could get any kind of condensation. And yeah, look at that, the uncoated side is already starting to fog up. Now I would bet you that the other side is getting condensation too, but whatever water forms on the surface simply just dissolves inside of that acetone and glycerin mix. So yeah, this thing did work. I'm pretty impressed.
Huh.
Here's another one of those solid fuels like I did in my last video. And again, I'm not even sure why you need this, other than maybe preparing for warfare from your household, but let's give it a try. This mixture uses gasoline as opposed to alcohol like in the last one, but the concept is still the same. You're still just making soap inside of that fuel solution, and it does require heating up that flammable solvent to high temperatures, which is never really safe, but I was able to do it and make some of this solid gasoline. My first batch of this stuff sucked. It barely even turned solid at all. But
there's no way he has neighbors. I refuse to believe it.
As you can tell, it's pretty solid. It starts off solid, but once it gets burning, it starts melting and dripping liquid burning stuff everywhere.
Oh, that's
actually
good.
pretty terrifying.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know
there we
for
go.
a fact that he doesn't think it's terrifying. He thinks it's really
I would not
cool.
want that spilled onto me. Now I know what you're thinking. This recipe's useless if it doesn't stay lit while it's shooting out of a cannon. Man, why do I do this crap?
That's a fucking nightmare fuel
So that's about
weapon.
it for this video. But stay tuned because I have a lot more videos
It's like
in the works right now.
cheese that is
And really,
always
I
on
can make a
fire.
whole channel based off this chemical formulary. There's so many crazy recipes in this book. So yeah, thanks for watching.
That's fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. Do you guys want to watch more Tulpa videos, or do we watch? Oh, there's more of these. Okay. We've got episode 3 of Crazy Guy, or we have Ape Who Couldn't Be Contained. Those are our 3 options: more uranium, Ape Who Couldn't, whatever, or one more Tulpa video. Any opinions? Any opinions in chat? We'll watch one video. Take this away. Uranium Crayon says Char. The ape is good, says TechCon. How long is the ape? 23 minutes. Okay. We can watch the uranium. Yeah, no Tulpa. Yeah, it's too much Tulpa. Maybe we'll watch the monkey video. I feel like a monkey video could be good. And we will save some of the more crazy science nonsense that the guy does for the next React Andy time. And for today, we're just gonna focus on the monkeys, I guess. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Welcome to a behind-the-scenes VIP visit to the world's most famous zoo, the San Diego Zoo.
I think I've heard about this orangutan or whatever.
The San Diego Zoo, the world-famous wildlife haven bursting with vibrant life. Nestled in the Balboa Park, this sprawling 100-acre zoo is home to thousands of rare and endangered creatures from across the globe. Pulling in millions of visitors every year, each exhibit offers an up-close glimpse into the wonders of the animal kingdom. With its lush tropical landscapes and immersive habitats, the San Diego Zoo really is a full-on adventure. Well, on the 13th of February 1971, San Diego Zoo welcomed a new addition. An orangutan was born. The son of the zoo's Maggie and Bob, it was decided he would be named Ken Allen, after the 2 zookeepers that would go on to care for him in his early years, Ken Willingham and Ben Allen. And this ape's time at San Diego Zoo would go on.
If I were to name a monkey, it would be something like kind of weird and banana oriented, probably. But I guess Ken Allen is whatever. I guess.
Shy of remarkable. So, after his birth, young Ken Allen didn't have the greatest start in life. It appeared that his mother was sadly failing to properly care for him, nearly accidentally smothering him. So, the team at San Diego Zoo felt it was best for Ken's safety to separate him from his mother and place him in his own cage. Well, as a young adolescent, Ken seemed to quickly climatise to his enclosure and loved the company of his zookeepers and other humans alike. A very sociable, intelligent young ape. And like all young playful apes, Ken was quite the troublemaker. But it was at nightfall when Ken would really shoot into action. One night, as the San Diego Zoo closed its doors and Ken's keepers were heading home after a long day's work, it seemed that Ken didn't particularly like the idea of being left confined to his small metal prison.
Makes sense.
Ken had learned to unscrew the bolts of his cage to free himself, and once out, he'd just roam around his nursery. So the next morning, as staff arrived,
Smart guy.
there they found Ken playing with his toys as his cage sat dismantled behind him. Assuming there'd just been some sort of structural error with the cage framework, the zookeeper simply put it back together again, and as night drew in, they led Ken back into the newly assembled cage. Well, Ken had made a note of this. So that night, as their shifts ended and the zookeepers left, once again, Ken started to unscrew the bolts of his cage and simply messed about. He loved the freedom, but this time was different. Ken had learned that the morning was when the zookeepers would start their shifts and return, and he wasn't going to be caught out again. So after yet another night of freedom, as the sunlight slowly crept in through the window of his nursery, this time around, Ken climbed back into his cage and started re-securing the bolts as if nothing
God
had
damn!
happened. This
He's
was when the zookeepers entered
smart.
the nursery that morning. There they saw Ken, sat well behaved in his cage, as if he'd been there the entire night. Well, Ken's master plan would go on for a few nights. He would unscrew the cage, play in the nursery, return to the cage, and then reassemble it. Everything was going swimmingly. But there was one small thing that Ken didn't account for. Eventually, the zookeeper started to notice that when they'd return in the morning, whilst Ken was sat content in his cage, his toys weren't in the places that the staff had left them the night before. So, with a hunch, that night, the keepers said their goodbyes to Ken and they pretended to leave. But rather than heading home, they sat quietly outside of Ken's nursery and waited. And after a while, as they expected, they started to hear noises. So they abruptly burst through the door, and there they saw Ken, cage dismantled, playing with his toys. So the jig was up. Ken was placed into a new, much sturdier cage, and that put a stop to his late night antics once and for all. But trust me when I say, this was merely the beginning when it came to Ken Allen. Things for San Diego Zoo would get far, far worse. Oh, there we go. 7th pint of the night. Right, Mick, I'm off, mate. I'll be back at 8 AM tomorrow. It's prior. But when Ken first moved in, he wasted no time in turning his hand to mischief. When a film crew turned up to document the gorilla enclosure next door, Ken decided it'd be a good idea to hurl rocks at them. And then when he ran out of rocks, he used his own shit. And keepers would also report seeing Ken fashioning branches into DIY ladders that he would then thump into the ground with his own fist, climb up to the top, and then climb all the way back down. Now it's important to note that Ken wasn't alone in this enclosure. Keepers decided that maybe it was best that he had some company this time around, so they placed him in an enclosure with a bunch of other orangutans. So there was a number of female orangutans, Ken, and one other male named Otis. Now if you know the first thing about the animal kingdom, 2 males and a bunch of females doesn't usually end too well. To put it bluntly, Ken grew to despise Otis. I'm talking cold-blooded hatred, resulting in numerous feuds. So the zookeeper's idea
Sounds
of
like a
giving
good
Ken some
ad, yes.
company had seemingly backfired. So they cut their losses and moved Ken into his own enclosure. So there he was, alone once again. Now let's have a think, shall we? Last time Ken was alone, what did he do? That's right, baby. He started planning his next escape. So on the 13th of June 1985, a 14-year-old Ken Allen managed to climb up the wall of his enclosure and got out. Now what exactly did Ken do after his valiant escape? Well, he very confidently just strolled around the zoo amongst visitors, minding his own business, observing the other animals. Ooh, look at the elephants. Wow, look at that giraffe. He wasn't aggressive or agitated. In fact, Ken loved the attention. Well, this escapade went on until the zookeepers were made aware of Ken's escape. Now, they knew that if Ken was to attack anybody, they would be forced to put him down.
Because of his strength, because he is a wild animal, the potential is there to do harm, to hurt somebody badly.
So slightly panicked, they hesitantly approached Ken, but he caused no trouble at all, and then they quickly led him back to his enclosure, which he happily complied with. Now, whilst Ken Allen was chilled, enjoying his day spent roaming the zoo, the same couldn't be said for the zoo's staff. They were having a meltdown. They knew if news of Ken Allen's escape went public, they would have a PR disaster on their hands. But of course, they have no control over the news leaking. I mean, there was an orangutan walking amongst members of the public. That does turn heads. So as the news broke, the staff at the San Diego Zoo prepared for the worst. But rather than the expected PR disaster, Ken Allen became somewhat of a local hero, and it actually worked in the zoo's favour. With everyone reading the news about Ken, people just had to see for themselves, and the zoo attendance skyrocketed. Well, despite the media buzz, behind the scenes, San Diego Zoo were doing all they could to prevent another escape. Sure, the attention was great, but one instance of an escaped ape was enough for them. Zoo officials decided they needed to step up security of Ken's pen, so they installed a moat around the perimeter of his enclosure and installed a 250-foot wall. This was bound to stop Ken in his tracks, and thankfully, it worked. Crisis averted.
Yeah. The thought of him just sort of chilling and walking around them unattended is very humorous and also kind of absurd.
Security measures successfully contained Ken Allen. For all of a few weeks, that is. Because on the 29th of July, 1985, Ken managed to escape again. He somehow made his way over the moat, and just like his last escape, the 250-pound...
What do you mean somehow? They don't know how he made over the moat?
...scaled his enclosure wall. And yet again, he did the same, just casually strolling around the zoo amongst visitors, even posing for selfies. But this time, there was one more thing Ken wanted to do on his day trip. So as the zookeepers were once again made aware of Ken's escape, they frantically ran out to the zoo for a second time to capture Ken. And there they found him, stood over an enclosure. But this time, he wasn't looking at the pretty elephants. There Ken was, picking up rocks and pelting them at none other than Otis, Ken's ex-roommate and sworn enemy. Well, this second escape had only escalated the media hype around Ken. The already packed San Diego Zoo had more and more visitors each day, all eager to see Ken Allen, the ape that could not be contained. But yet again, as for the staff at San Diego Zoo, whilst thankful for the increase in ticket sales, they simply could not let this happen again. 2 escapes was already far too many. Things were really getting silly now. Every effort the zookeepers had applied to try and halt Ken's escapes was failing. They needed to really step things up this time around. So for the time being, they moved Ken into an indoor pen that reportedly had a black and white television that featured just one channel. So as Ken sat and watched TV, the staff started to draft a plan to further beef up Ken's main enclosure and increase security.
He was just... Ken was like intelligent enough to feel hatred, whereas Otis was just a stupid loaf. So he was just a target of this hatred.
Properly. So as the staff gathered around and started pitching ideas, meanwhile, outside of zoo grounds, after the media had caught wind of the second escape, things had gotten bonkers. Ken Allen had become somewhat of an icon. Free Ken Allen t-shirts started popping up all over the place, $14 a pop. Bumper stickers appearing on cars all over San Diego. A group of pensioners formed a Ken Allen fan club aptly named the Orang Gang, complete with a monthly newsletter. And maybe the strangest outcome of Ken's fame, a San Diego-based psychiatrist named Dennis Gersten released a single, The Ballad of Ken Allen. Yeah, shit was getting weird. Headlines started referring to Ken Allen as Hairy Houdini, a name that fit him perfectly. So back at the zoo, with all eyes on them, the staff started their efforts to beef up Ken's main enclosure once and for all. So with the master plan finished, they started by surrounding the wall with a powerful electric fence. Then they hired a pair of professional rock climbers to try and scale the enclosure wall so staff could seek out the foot and handholds and patch over them, making a chance of a route to the top virtually impossible.
Making the walls smoother, straight up and down, taking all the little bumps and ridges out of the wall that he could possibly get a handhold on.
Also, the keepers had noted that Ken would only really ever attempt to escape when he was in an enclosure alone. And of course, when they attempted to put him in an enclosure with other orangutans, the only real issue was the fact that there was another male, Otis. So, zookeepers decided that the best course of action would be to introduce some female orangutans into the upgraded enclosure, and no other males, in the hopes that the company might calm him down. So with the big security renovations finally complete, they decided it was time to free Ken from his indoor prison. He'd watched enough black and white TV, and they released him into the newly upgraded enclosure. But that wasn't all the staff had up their sleeve. This time, they decided it was best that they monitored Ken. See what he got up to, learn his habits, see if he was acting fishy. But this is Ken Allen we're talking about. This is one smart orangutan. He knew that when he saw humans dressed in zoo uniform, he couldn't act out or pull any wise moves, as he knew they were watching. But this time, the staff were one step ahead of Ken. So to get round this, they would disguise themselves in normal, casual clothing, blue jeans, Hawaiian shirts, sunglasses, as if they were just regular old bystanders visiting the zoo. That way, they could watch Ken and he'd have no idea they were members of staff. A tactic that the zoo coined guerrilla tactics. Okay, 1 gold star for that one, San Diego Zoo. I'll give it to you.
Pokemon
how
did that
it all
joke too.
go? Well, their plan worked. Ken didn't try to escape. So there Ken was, busy not escaping, relaxing, sitting around. Oh, he has a crowbar. It seemed that Ken had discovered the tool when it had been seemingly left behind by a construction worker. Not particularly wanting to approach a crowbar-wielding orangutan, the zookeepers watched over helplessly. But to their relief, Ken threw it aside, landing at the feet of fellow orangutan, Vicky. Now, knowing she was far calmer than Ken, the keepers weren't too worried about her, until that is, they heard a large crunch and Vicky had used the crowbar to try and pry open the glass of the enclosure window in an attempt to free herself and Ken. That's right, Ken had seemingly upped his intelligence level and was training other orangutans to aid him in his escapes.
Very clever, as if they learned from the master himself. There must be some kind of orangutan communication going on here.
Thankfully, for zoo staff, this time around, they caught Ken and Vicky almost instantly before they made it out to the public and then re-secured the window. So after making sure all the loose tools were secure and feeding the construction worker to the alligators, it seemed that Ken, for the most part, was behaving himself. They did catch him one time, managing to scale the wall, despite the rock climber's best efforts, but when he eventually reached the electric fence, he lightly brushed it, got quite the zap, and quickly made his way back down. The San Diego Zoo had outdone themselves. Finally, all the work the staff had put in had seemingly worked to keep Ken Allen at bay. Ken started to settle down, and the media started to report that he'd become somewhat of a family man, and it looked as if his escapes had finally been put to rest. But it seemed that Ken was simply buying his time, because 2 years later, the pump that fueled the moat around Ken's enclosure had conveniently clogged, drying up the moat completely, and this allowed for a clear and easy path to the wall. Ken then sat patiently and waited for the moment that the power to the electric fence was shut off for maintenance. How he knew this is still a mystery, but with the timing being perfect, he capitalised, making a bolt for it. And once again, after his 2-year hiatus, he'd come out of retirement, and it was like he'd never stopped. Back to his old ways, he strolled around the zoo, taking photo after photo, everybody raving that they had seen Ken Allen, hairy Houdini, the ape that could not be contained. But this time around, when he saw the guards approaching in the distance, Ken wasn't as calm as he was during his other escapes. He made a bolt for the lion enclosure, dodging and weaving, making the most of his freedom, crowds cheering as he sprinted. He was really pushing the boat out this time. This was the furthest away Ken had ever been from his enclosure. Fearing that Ken was going to climb into the lion enclosure and be their next meal, staff were hot on his heels, and after 3 long hours, he was eventually cornered by gun-wielding zookeepers and led back to his enclosure. Luckily, the zookeepers knew that the only reason the escape was possible was due to the moat drying up and the power shutting off, and once repaired, the fortifications that had worked for 2 years would still be up to scratch. But while secure, what the keepers had underestimated once more was the fact that Ken had roommates. Things had been going great, but we all know how things go when you surround Ken with female orangutans. Ken isn't exactly the best influence on the ladies. But it wasn't Ken this time. One day before the zoo opening time, Jane and Kumang had found a 5-foot-long handled squeegee that a cleaner had accidentally left in the enclosure. And inspired by Ken, the two somehow used it to climb up the wall and hop out. Jane apparently wandered into an employee-only lounge area, finished off some of their sodas, and was found roaming around near the flamingos, where she had to be tranquilized and returned to her enclosure. And thankfully, Kumang willingly returned. But while she was the tamer ape this time around, it seems that Kumang wanted her own chapter in the adventure book. She managed to escape 2 additional times by shortening the electric fence wires with a twig. The first time, she was found sat lying in a garden bed where she was tranquilized. Then the second time, she was sat outside the monkey enclosure, and when approached by staff, she climbed on top of the bird sanctuary where she was tranquilized again. In fact, Kumang's mischief actually got the group put in solitary confinement once more, whilst the keepers made the wiring system more complex, upgraded the doors, and went around with an electromagnet to make sure there was nothing they could use to aid an escape. So even though Ken was in retirement, he was still seemingly costing the zoo money through his students. At this point, the zoo had reportedly spent a whopping $45,000 on security over the course of the escapes. As for Ken himself, as years passed, it seems that the escapes at San Diego Zoo really had finally come to an end this time. Ken was living a simpler life in his enclosure, sat relaxing, eating, and flipping off children that walked by. Ken settled down for years to come. He had finally decided to behave himself and stayed put in his enclosure. He had truly given up on his old ways. Well, in the winter of 2000, the zookeepers noticed that Ken was acting out of the ordinary. He was moving erratically and seemed uncomfortable, so the staff sent him in for a visit with the zoo doctor. Ken was diagnosed with B-cell lymphoma, a form of blood cancer. Now at first, doctors weren't too worried, as Ken was still young and fit and would most likely be able to fight off the disease. But sadly, as time went on, Ken's condition deteriorated.
No,
the cancer
Ken!
had become more aggressive. The cancer that was now terminal. So the zookeepers decided that rather than letting Ken suffer at the age of 29, on December 1st, 2000, Ken Allen was euthanized.
Options for chemotherapy were explored, but at this time, the therapy was mainly geared towards making Kenny as comfortable as possible.
His condition had worsened over the last several days. Ken brought great joy to the San Diego Zoo for over 29 years. The loss of this type of animal is a great loss to our organization. This is a sad day at the San Diego Zoo. At 11:05 today, Ken Allen was put down.
The Orangang published a 2-page spread as a tribute to Ken and hosted a candlelit vigil for him, stating he would have done the same for us. To this day, a plaque sits in San Diego Zoo in Ken Allen's honor. So there you go. The story of Ken Allen's numerous escapes from the San Diego Zoo. $45,000, t-shirts, bumper stickers, a fan club, a single, and a hell of a tale. I've made sure to link to the main sources that help to tell this story below if you want to read into it some more. And shout out to Countdown.
That was a pretty good video. That was a pretty good video. For sure. Very nice. Very nice. That was a good orangutan video to end the reacting of today with. Very nice. Very nice. That was a good suggestion. But I will end the stream here for today because I'm a little bit tired. I've had a long day. I'm gonna go do my dailies in my funny cheat game, and then I'm gonna go probably to sleep. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys again probably Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there next week. Anyway, bye-o.